Hey my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming and Tech Reviews. I'm Andrew, and today I decided to throw together a compilation of my 8 GB testing and videos that I've been making for the last couple of months. You can kind of see how the trajectory of things have went since I started covering these. I thought this would be a good idea. It's going to be almost 4 hours long, so if you're sitting at work or doing whatever you want to do, here's a nice long video for you guys to just kind of sit back and listen to. There's a lot of cool testing in this thing, you know. Bringing it all into one place. You know, maybe you guys missed some of these videos because of my irregular uploading schedule and stuff, but I just figured I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something like this. I wanted to give it a try, and maybe while I still have all the files before I delete them, because let's just face it, storage these days is quite expensive. I mean, I legit paid the same amount for 4 terabytes as I did for a 5050 GPU, and I don't think that people, truly understand or grasp the nature of PC gaming and just how open and incredible it can be. Buying something like a 5050 and being able to legitimately have a playable, good experience on a lot of these games across multiple generations of gaming. To me, my friends, the possibilities when it comes to PC gaming is absolutely freaking incredible. And, as much time as I spent back on the consoles and then coming over to PC gaming and just seeing man, if I would have just started PC gaming a long time ago, my collection of games on PC would be absolutely massive today. And I could have went back and seen those games continue to, get better with each generation of GPU and CPU, and started learning tricks and stuff a long time ago to be able to continue playing those experiences. Because we all go through, at least for me, during the console generations, I would go through each console generation and I would have my favorite games, but and I would always wish, okay, this was one of the things I was man, I would have loved to have seen this game on new hardware, upgraded for today's standards and stuff like that. So when we get remakes and remasters and stuff, I don't really mind, I'm yeah, do it because I love that game. And, over the years, over the last 40 years, I've been gaming for 40 years now. Over the last 40 years, I've played so many incredible games and been to so many different worlds, driven so many freaking cool cars, flown so many cool spaceships, shot every single freaking gun available, realistic and freaking sci-fi type stuff that, you just grow up in this stuff and you're so immersed in games and stuff. And that's why I look at, things a little bit differently than most of the tech reviewers and stuff, is because I know that there's value in every GPU, in every system, in everything, because I've grown up with so many of them and I have so much time and energy and incredible gaming moments tied to each and every single platform from Nintendo Entertainment System forward. I still believe that there's value in everything. So I wanted to show you guys this new 8 GB compilation, and hopefully you guys enjoy this, and maybe I'll go back and do some of the other ones for for higher end systems and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll see. Let me know in the comment section if you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you guys later. Enjoy the show. Guys, I was just reading a comment in my comment section. It's from somebody in the community. I love this guy, purple. Gosh dang it! Let me see. From Purple Fish TV. He says on one side I got guys telling me that the cards suck, and then on the other side I got guys telling me that I should just change. Gosh dang it! I was in the middle of responding to him, and so he says on one side I got all the guys telling me that these cards suck. On the other side I got a guy telling me I should just change the kind of games I like to play. Why can't there just be a guy that shows what works and what doesn't without trying to convince me to think like them? Okay, well here's the thing, guys, and this is what my response to that was. Look, 8 gigabyte GPUs are literally designed to suck. Okay, they're literally designed to suck. I mean, there's no question about that. They absolutely suck. The thing is, though, is in the PC space, if you think about it, the next card up, you know, the 9060 XT 16 gigabyte, it's $50 more. Clearly, most of them are being sold for $400+. You're lucky if you can find one at $350. If you switch over to Nvidia, you got their cards starting at $300. Clearly, they go up to over $500 for a 16 gigabyte model, and then they jump straight up to the next rung. The cheapest you're finding 5070s are like $600-700, up to $1,000 for 16 gigabyte 9070 XT and 5070 Ti. The 8 gigabyte cards are literally designed to suck so bad that you want to buy something better. And then they both come out with these 16 gigabyte cards, and they say they're $50 more, but they're really, yeah, dude, these cards are designed to suck. But you, as a gamer, if you can find a way to make them not suck, like I've been trying to show you that yes, they absolutely can be made to look like these are absolute trash. I could trust and believe I could go into these cards and literally make them look like complete garbage. But I choose not to do that. I choose to find the good in these GPUs because I know there's going to be people out there that buy them. And look, man, $300 is a lot of money. Whether you like to admit it or not, $300 is a lot of money. $400, a lot of money. $250 is a lot of money, no matter how you look at it. So if you can find a way to be happy with them GPUs, if you can find the silver lining, that makes you smart. That makes you ahead of the curve. That makes you very happy, very happy. Because at the same time, $250 isn't a lot of money. $300 is not a lot of money when you look at the amount of enjoyment that you can get out of these GPUs. Most of the games that are going to run fabulously on these cards are like $10, $20. They're older. But they're still bangers. I can legitimately, any time of the day, almost any time of the year, find a copy of Red Dead Redemption 2 at $15. That plays just fine on these GPUs. Once you dial in the settings and you can legit play that game flawlessly on one of these 8 gigabyte GPUs. A game like Ghost Recon Wildlands, I was able to get this game to play over 60 frames a second at 4K on a 9060 XT. I'm able to get into Assassin's Creed Shadows and play that game above 60 FPS with that GPU looking phenomenally. That's what I'm trying to say. Like everybody else, look. Yes, I could do exactly what everybody else does and just come out and be like, look, these cards are trash. You've got how many content creators out there that are 100% against these GPUs? And that's fine. Cool. Whatever makes them money, whatever they got to do to grow their base, to make their content. I get it now. Like I've woken up this generation and it's like, look, there's plenty of negativity out there on YouTube. I'm going to try and use my platform. And if you go and read the thing on my thing, give me a platform and I'll use it for good. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay. That has always been the ethos of Frogboy X1 Gaming, is just to try to be good and bring some good to the world. Now, you can sit and hate the 8 gigabyte GPUs all you want, and you should. Like, you absolutely should. To be completely honest with you, like you should. They are literally designed to suck. They're literally designed to be obsolete. Like all content, all video GPUs and all of that are designed to be obsolete. They have a 2-year refresh cycle. 2 years. They're designed to not. They're designed to be the best they can be at the time of launch, but then there's something better right around the corner. Right around the corner. Like why do you think that one of the things people are always like, oh man, it's too close to the new GPUs to buy one? Oh no, don't buy last gens. You're gonna get a better deal. Why do you think those wives' tales hold so much water in the PC community? But then at the same time they don't, because why the hell would you want to buy an old GPU when you get a new one that's better? Even if it's just a few percent, it is better. It's gonna last you longer. I don't know. That's the one thing that like really confused me about PC gaming until I actually legitimately, like, guys, I'm not even joking. I legitimately had to put my money where my mouth was and try the stuff myself, or I wouldn't understand any of this. I would still be confused. I would still be spouting the same stuff that everybody else spouts about PC gaming. You legitimately have to start at the bottom and then go as high as you can go to fully understand PC gaming. Now, there's a reason why. I start banging on about the 1080p. Okay, there's a reason why I like 1440p. There's a reason why I mix all of it in there. Is because it doesn't matter what display you have. 1080p is 1080p. It's still HD. 1440p is still quad HD, and then Ultra HD. It's still HD. It's still high definition. Even at 1080p, high definition means that you get good definition in your image quality. 1440p adds a level of clarity that 1080p just isn't capable of. Whereas 4K adds the ultimate quality. Even 8K, it just keeps going. The clarity gets higher and higher and higher. The higher the resolution, the more pixels you need to fill that, to give you that clarity as well. So it means you need a higher level of GPU. But don't knock these 8GB GPUs. Don't knock them, because there's still tons of games out there that you could legit buy and play at 4K and have an incredible experience. But yes, there are some games that are out there that are absolutely designed to bring these cards to their knees if you're using ultra settings. You got to look at it this way, okay? Or you don't have to look at it anyway. You can look at it whatever the freak way you want, but this is the way I choose to look at it. 1080p is like medium on newer games, okay? Like if you're playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, 1080p is where the textures top out at. That's it. That's why you can legitimately use ultimate settings and it looks fabulous on a 1080p display. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a little bit different. That one looks to me more incredible maxed out at 1440p. And it looks a little bit too overbearing at 1080p maxed out. Like it brings too much, like it's just too noisy. Whereas Assassin's Creed Shadows looks the best maxed out at 4K. So if you look at it that way and say if you take Assassin's Creed Shadows and you're playing at 1440p and you set at high. You set it at high settings, it looks incredible at 1440p and it still looks just as good as it would at 4K with ultra settings. The same goes for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. If you put Valhalla on 1080p at high settings, it looks absolutely perfect. It's a question of how are these games looking and what does... Nobody's ever actually explained. I don't think I've seen it from anybody actually explain the difference between the settings. You got low, you got very low, medium, original, high, extra, epic, whatever. You've got all these different settings. But in my testing, from my eye, from what I can see, is you're actually wasting more resources if you're at epic settings on a 1080p display. You only have so many pixels at 1080p. You only have so many pixels to fill. And if you're throwing in like all of these like really high and epic settings, especially with Unreal Engine 5. Unreal Engine 5, epic settings are like super high quality 4K textures. You set it to medium on a 1080p and it actually looks good. Even low on Unreal Engine 5 games looks really, really good. So while there's no perfect answer for 1080p or for 8GB GPUs, there is no perfect answer. It is literally by design designed to suck. Period. Like it's literally whittled down from chips that say like AMD prints out a big old chip. Okay. And then they're like, okay, well, this part will work for these high-end GPUs. And then they start whittling it down until they get to like, okay, this is our base model. This is what you get. Like it's not like they go out of their way to be like, yeah, we're gonna design a we're going to design a 9060 GPU with this. No, they're like, okay, this is what we have left over after getting our good chips. What can we do with it? That's pretty much how it goes. But they always do try to keep it at like, okay, 30 CUs or whatever. You know, it's not like they set out to design it that way. I think it's more along the lines of they set out to design their high-end chip, and then that's what you get at the end. That's just how it just how it rolls, you know. It's almost like there were defective good chips that got cut down to be good low-end chips. That's the way I look at the way these PCs are built. And when you look at something like an 8 gigabyte GPU, 8 gigabytes, yeah, if they put 16 gigabytes on it like they did on the 9060 XT, absolutely, it's going to be a better card. AMD gives you the best freaking value. AMD absolutely gives you the best value. You take that 16 gigabyte 9060 XT and you can legit with features play any game you want at 1440p and it looks fabulous. You take the 9060 XT 8 gigabyte and it's like, and it's different. Like it's legitimately different. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. You either make sacrifices with your wallet when you're buying the card, or you make sacrifices with visual quality or resolution or something else. But if you can be happy with those, then you saved yourself 50 bucks. Well, technically it's about 100 bucks. You saved yourself 100 bucks. You know, if you can find the 9060 XT at the $350 MSRP, you save 50 bucks. Okay? And as long as you're happy playing the games, then that's good. That is a good thing. That's not a bad thing. Chasing, you know, trying to keeping up with the Joneses and PC, it's pretty hard, man. I mean, you think about what a 5090 costs, 3,000 bucks. And then you look at the power and everything else. You got to have a better motherboard, you got to have a better CPU, you got to have just equal, like you got to have a high-end system for a 5090. It's not just the price of the card, it's the price of all of it. You got to keep it cool, you got to keep it freaking well ventilated. There's a lot that goes into a 5090 PC. You have to spend a lot of money. I can't just go buy a 5090 and throw it in my system right now. No, I'd have to legitimately like redo a lot of it just to run that card safely and to its peak optimal performance. I'd have to get a new CPU, a new motherboard, pretty much everything. Like I would need a new motherboard because I would want something better to run a 9800X 3D or something with that. And it would probably end up getting a 9950X. So buying these cheap cards they're designed to suck. Okay, they're literally designed to suck. That's the whole point of it. They're designed to suck, but at the same time give you just enough to set the hook. Like these cards are literally, like, I don't think it's dishonest for other creators to say that it is a little bit, you know, I don't know. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna go along with them this one time and be like, yeah, these cards are an absolute scam to get people to buy them. They're scam. They're going into pre-builds, whatever. Okay, well, I'll agree. You know what? Finally, they got me. I agree with that. It is a scam. Why? Because it's an interesting scam though. They're good enough to get the job done to set the hook, but they're also not good enough to where like the console bro coming over being like, yeah, I had a PS5 Pro and I want to upgrade. They're going to get over there, they're going to buy that, and they're going to be like, well, at least it's better than my PlayStation, but now I need more. Yeah, it is a scam. It is a scam, but that's obviously it's a scam to keep the price as low, the entry price as low as possible to get that console bro to buy it. It is. It worked on me. I went into it thinking like, because that's one of the misconceptions that us console guys have is, damn, dude, look at what we get for $500. You know, because Series X, PS5 Pro, PS5. Really good consoles. They actually did a pretty damn good job. Getting 60 frames a second, giving you a taste of that PC. Like, yeah, that right there set the hook. And then when you get the PC and you see that it's even better than that, then you're like, oh gosh, even an 8 gigabyte GPU is better than the console experience. That's the point. That's the point. It is better. Even if it doesn't quite give you that, it will most of the time. You know, because like I've said before in lots of videos, there are thousands of games that you can legit buy and play. And most of us console bros, we're gonna go back there and buy some of our favorite games. We're gonna go get Uncharted and play it at 4K. And we're gonna be like, wow, this is so incredible. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna do that. We're gonna buy those games. We're gonna buy our favorite games. If you're an Xbox bro, you've already got access to everything that's Play Anywhere. You're gonna download it. You're gonna play it. It's gonna run significantly better than your Xbox. Boom, you're hooked. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. You're hooked. You're freaking hooked, man. So yeah, I get it when people are like upset about 8 gigabyte GPUs. I get it. The purple fish. I know you're frustrated right now. Like, I get it, bro. Like, I 100% get it. But if you find a way to be happy most of the time with that 8 gigabyte GPU, you saved money. But at the same time, yeah, you kind of shot yourself in the foot by getting an 8 gigabyte GPU. They're designed to suck for a reason. The 9060 XT, the 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte, those are the cards that I would recommend. They are. But you bought that card well before I even bought it to review it on the channel. Like, you already had it. So I'm not trying to convince you that, like, yeah, you should go buy it. I'm not trying to convince anybody to buy it. To be completely honest with you, I'm not trying to convince anybody to buy an 8 gigabyte GPU. 99% of this was for my own curiosity. I'm just giving you the results that I see. And yes, a lot of it is more designed to be positive. You're right. You got me there. I don't want to create negative content. It isn't, like, you know, warranted. I was able to, here's the thing. Like, I'm not being dishonest and I'm not being deceitful, but I've been able to find more happiness on the 8 gigabyte GPUs than not. Okay? I've been able to play everything I want to play and have a good experience with that the majority of the time. You've seen most of the games that I like to play. I'm a Ubisoft fan. I play a lot of that kind of open world games. Okay? I have found overwhelming success playing those games. So I'm happy. I could be happy with an 8 gigabyte GPU with the setup and everything that I got. Absolutely, dude. I can absolutely be happy and find happiness with an 8 gigabyte GPU. Is it ideal for what I want? No, absolutely not. Why do you think I have a 7900X, a 9070 XT and a 5070 Ti? I want better. I want a better experience. So yeah, at the end of the day, guys, 8 gigabyte GPUs are designed to suck. Period. End of subject. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. But they still can deliver a gaming experience that will absolutely blow your freaking socks off. So it's like a double-edged sword. The 8 gigabyte GPU. What do? Do you buy it and roll the dice and take a chance? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just here to set the record straight and to try to give you the positive aspect of the stuff that everybody else is trashing. You know, because I felt very, very confused about PC gaming when I first got into it. And when I complained about the 3060 Ti, you know what everybody told me? You should have got a 3090, Frog. I'm like, that got extreme pretty quickly, okay? That got extreme pretty quickly. Do you think that I would still be happy with a 3090 today? Do you think if I spent $2,000 on a 3090 back when everybody told me, no, Frog, you got to get a 3090, and then frame generation and everything comes out on the 4090? Better upscaling, better quality. You know what I mean? Do you honestly think I would have been happy with a 30? I know I'd have been pissed. And then 7800 XT comes out and it's better than a 3090. I'd have been mad. I'd have been absolutely mad. And then what? 5090 comes out. I mean, I'd probably still be happy with a 4090 for sure. But had I not bought all this stuff and did all the things that I've done, dude, I would still be an angry PC gamer. I know it's not ideal for everybody to go out and spend the amount of money and buy the GPUs and stuff that I have. I get that. I get that. That's why I'm doing my best to try to show you guys what I observe in the PC space. So yeah, 8 gigabyte GPUs are designed to suck. Better GPUs are going to give you a better, but they're still going to have limitations, man. There's limitations no matter where you go with PC. It usually, why do you think the games that I test are the older games, the ones that are pre-upscaling, pre all of that stuff? Everybody's like, why do you keep showing us Assassin's Creed and blah, blah, blah? Because they don't rely on upscaling. They don't rely on it. To me, it's a better barometer of how these games are going to perform, or because I already know that I can flip on the features and enjoy the game. Okay, like I already know that. I already know frame generation and DLSS4 and FSR4 and all that shit is going to make new games look great, play wonderfully. They're going to be indistinguishable on a controller from what I've played before. So the older games are what matters significantly more when testing a GPU for me going forward. It just is. And that's just me, man. So, all right, guys, 8GB GPUs, designed to suck. Sorry you bought one. But if you can find a way to be happy with it, that would probably be in your best interest. But yeah, I do recommend 16 gigabytes going forward, guys. I do. It's been that way ever since I bought the freaking 7900 XT. Ever since I moved away from the 10 gigabyte and found happiness in having more VRAM, yes. Always buy the most VRAM that you can afford. If you are stuck with an 8 gigabyte GPU, there's a lot of fun that you can have still with these GPUs. And at least for the next couple of years. Once we get new generation consoles, it is going to get harder. It is going to get harder, especially if they go to 24 gigabytes. It is going to get harder, but as long as Nvidia and AMD are still making 8 gigabyte GPUs, developers are still going to target that. Okay, so you should know that at least they're going to target that. They're still going to target the 8 gigabytes. So it gives people at least an opportunity. And maybe you just want to play old games. Maybe you just want to play old games, but you want an update. You want a new card. Cool. They still make those. Maybe that's how maybe that's how they should market these cards. Esports and old games. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Froggy out. All right, my friends. This here is another test on the 8 gigabyte GPU. This is Star Wars Outlaws. Now, if you remember correctly, the other day, I did a video showing you guys that you can essentially get the exact same experience on this game at 3440 by 1440p by using what was it? Performance and fixed. Okay. By using the same features. Okay, we're going to apply that real quick because that was the same settings. So I wanted to kind of see exactly low. Okay, we had ultra set on the whatchamacallit, the 9060 XT 16 gigabyte and the 9070 when we did this test. Okay. And the only difference that we had on, let me see, was frame generation on? Okay, yeah, I had frame generation on this one, and it was giving me the exact same frame rate as the 9070 XT with just these same settings, but without frame generation. So let's see if we can actually get into this game and play it at because it was about 80 frames. It was about 80 frames on 70 to 80 frames on both the 9070 XT without frame generation and the 9060 XT 16 gigabyte with frame generation on. So let's see if this game will still be able to do that, because oh man, look. Ah, shoot, it's nighttime. Dang it. But yes, we can do it on this one. Okay, cool. I was a little worried, man, because I just did Assassin's Creed, and Assassin's Creed was pretty tough. But I didn't get them big old massive frame time spikes, so definitely we would have to lower our settings to at least high on this one. But yeah, look at that. Same frames, about 80. Yeah, okay. That's cool. That is actually cool. So this GPU is performing just like the 9060 XT 16 gigabyte, at least in this game, under the same settings. Now it was daytime on the other one. Oh my gosh, guys. Yeah, and see, the frame generation on this game just helps so much when you want to max everything out and you want to use the features. This is cool. This is cool. I get happy for some reason. When I see stuff like this, guys, I get happy. I'm like, oh my gosh, man, like that's cool. I can play the game. I can use my ultra wide 3440 by 1440p monitor, and it looks good. It looks good. Let's run down the cityscape, because that there's where it normally, yeah, look at that, boom, right freaking on, man, right on. We'll run around for a minute to make sure our VRAM stays good, because this game's pretty optimized now. This game is absolutely a blast to play now. Yeah, it looks like we're doing pretty good. We're gonna play this for a few minutes, guys. Let me see. Let me get on my speeder. Let me get on my speeder. Get over here, Speedy. Yeah, dude, this is great. This is absolutely incredible, guys. That's why I'm not as anti 8 gigabytes as everybody else is right now. Like, you can still play a lot of these games and have a freaking really good experience. FSR4, DLSS 4, they really absolutely changed the experience to a point where it's like, boom. They absolutely changed the experience and make this so much freaking better. I mean, whoa. Whoa, that's a crazy little beast. Whoa. Them dudes are after me. Whoa, shoot. Sheesh. Oh, I'm not a good shooter. Where the hell are they? Want my juice, my little juice. Yeah. Okay, let's get back on our speeder and go. Dude, what the freak, man? Yeah. That was pretty cool, man. See, like when you make the pikes mad, bro, they're like legit after me everywhere on this stage. It's like you can't go anywhere. You can't just like run around and show people the thing, because you got like these dudes that are always like legit after you, man. Ooh, but I don't know, man. See, a lot of people, they tried to pretend this game was bad at launch, and it's like, dude, it was a good game at launch. I really enjoyed this. The only thing that I want them to change on this game is I want to be able to climb these mountains. That's it. That's the only thing that I want. Let's go over here and put my speeder away now for a minute. It's hard to see through this camera because it's like right up in my face, so it makes it a little bit tricky to like see things. Gosh, look at that beautiful freaking HDR on this game. I like them beautiful vibrant colors. This is cool, man. Like this game running, like this kind of stuff makes me happy. Being able to play my Ubisoft games on this GPU and have a good experience, like, yeah, this makes me happy. This makes me very happy. It's almost going to be daytime in the game. Just kind of want to run around for a minute until the sun pops up, so you guys can see. Like, this is great. This actually works pretty good. The freaking frame generation technique, guys. When it's programmed into these games and you're on a controller, like, it just feels fine. Yeah. Like the latency and all of that stuff that everybody complains about that you barely even feel on a controller. Like, I don't know, man. See, it's not that they shouldn't have those worries. I mean, like, obviously, yeah. I mean, trust and believe, like, if people could play streaming games, the latency, like, on this is way better. Way better. I mean, better get used to this, because if not, you're just going to be streaming anyways. I just find it funny that people are like always saying, "Oh no, don't buy it." And it's like, yeah, dude, if you don't buy it, they're just going to start making you stream it, dude. Nvidia and AMD can sell all these chips to the freaking AI bros, no problem, man, no problem. I'm not saying we shouldn't ask for better. I'm just saying that, like, they do offer better, but look at the cost of it now. It just doesn't make sense for them to sell us super high-end GPUs like a 5090 for $1,000, man. For them, that's like, no, man, they could get 20 grand for that same chip in the AI market. For that same amount of die space or whatever, they probably get quadruple what they're asking us to pay for it. They're just trying to pretend that they still care about gamers. I don't know, maybe they can. Maybe they're just, you know what? At the same time, maybe they are just like being shady and only ordering so much, because if you think about it, every time the new GPUs come out, there's always still stock of the old ones, except for this time, man. There wasn't a lot of 40 series stock. Look at this. Now it's starting to be daytime, guys. And this game just still looks so beautiful. So beautiful. I was really worried that this GPU wasn't going to let me play this game like this. I'm not even joking, guys. I was legit worried that it wasn't going to be a good experience. But here I am, 3440 by 1440p, getting the same experience that I could get on a 9070 XT without using frame generation, but just using performance FSR4 at the same settings. So yeah, this is awesome. This is freaking awesome, guys. Oh look, my little buddies are back. Boop, 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 bloop. I better get over here at least to the tree. Those dudes, man. Oh no, see, it's better to fight them when you're on your bike. But all right, guys, yeah, dude, if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.
Hey guys, welcome back. Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I wanted to kind of talk. Is 1080p still relevant in 2025? Now, I've been seeing a lot of controversy surrounding 8GB GPUs. Every time that one gets announced or one gets talked about, the usual suspects just crowd in like a bunch of like the free 5090 bros. They just run for it. It's like they're like the sharks, and they smell blood in the water, and they just start chasing after it. And you guys know that I went out and I spent my own money on a 5060 8GB so that I could test it, so that I could actually so that I could throw it on it, so that I could throw it in and actually see for myself how bad the experience is. And so that brings me to the 1080p. Is it still relevant in 2025? I just put the 5060 8GB back in the PC. That's what's in there right now. That's what I've been checking out today as I've been sitting here. So that I could see, because recently Scepter, they sent me out this 2560 by 1080p ultra wide monitor. So I was like, you know what, I want to test that on the 5060. I want to see how the 5060 performs at 1080p ultra wide, and so that's what I've been doing today. That's what I've been playing around with. So I think that 8GB long term. To be completely honest and to be fair, I do believe that eventually you're going to grow out of 8GB cards. We are going to get to a point in time where a lot of these newer games are just not going to function very well on 8GB. I mean, that's just the nature of things. Hardware gets to a point where it just isn't performant anymore. I do think that that's going to be a little bit longer than a lot of people are talking about, though. I feel like this generation of consoles is pretty close to the end. So I figure 8GB is still suitable for at least the next couple of years, until we start seeing next gen consoles from PlayStation and Xbox. I feel like 8GB is still somewhat reasonable if you are willing. I mean, let's be fair, let's be honest, and let's be real. If you're in the market, I mean, if you're in that $300 price range, you're already used to making the sacrifices that most gamers, that most gamers are willing to make to play video games. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Everybody wants to be able to play the games at their max. At the settings the developer intended. Everybody does. I mean, let's be real. But if being able to afford that is a barrier, because it is. Let's be real. Being able to afford the highest end equipment to be able to do that, like this right here is a 5070 Ti. And if you use the features, yeah, you could play at 4K, you could play at max settings most of the time. There's some games that if you turn on at 4K, 16GB is just not enough. So it's not just 8GB. Those same games on the 8GB at 1080p have the same issues on a freaking 16GB card at 4K. So when you look at that, I mean, you're still essentially VRAM limited on those games, on those same damn games. If I put in, I'm not even joking. If I put in Indiana Jones on this 8GB card and I run that at max settings, I run out of VRAM. If I run that same game at 4K with max settings on this 5070 Ti, I run out of VRAM. So it's no matter what, most of the games that run out of VRAM at 8GB at 1080p on this card are the same ones that have VRAM issues at 16GB on this card. So when you look at that, that just means that all that really means is essentially those games are more future-proofed for future hardware. Right now, if you are reasonable with your settings on PC, you can usually push these games pretty decently. You have the finite control over your PC experience of how your games are going to look and run. You can shoot for the highest visual quality, and you can just have like beautiful visuals, or you can shoot for higher performance, and you can sacrifice some of the visual flair for more for smoother gameplay. For like an overall smoother experience, which is, in my opinion, a lot lately I've found that to be the more ideal experience. especially as our monitor technology starts to, 480 hertz, 240 hertz, 210 hertz, 165 hertz for the 1440p monitor that I got right here. If you start to do that and you start to take that kind of stuff into consideration, then you want to be able to find a good sweet spot. Now, as 8 gigabytes, as I see this war over 8 gigabytes, with all the other content creators out there, essentially just click farming. That's pretty much. I mean, what else do you do? That's just the thing that YouTube creates. It creates this algorithm that pretty much punishes those who don't want to do the clickbait and rewards those who do the most controversial stuff. So, look. 8 gigabytes is the easy target. You can go after 8 gigabytes, you can bash it, beat it up, and people will like that, and they run with it. But to be fair, to be the only person that's gonna speak reason on the internet, you can still find a fairly decent experience at 1080p. I had thrown today. Because I got the ultra wide hooked up, both ultra wides. I got 1440p, 3440 by 1440p, and then the 2560 by 1080p. And I'm sitting here on the 8 gigs GeForce RTX 5060 from Gigabyte, the Aero. It's an OC model, so it does a little bit better than like your standard 8 gig. I threw on Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I was playing that. And I noticed that like my frame rate from 1440p or 1080p ultra wide to 1440p is pretty close. And I was like, wait a minute. So essentially, as long as you've got the VRAM, and I did notice that, like it does use a little bit more VRAM to run at 1440p. As long as you have the VRAM, to maintain like the texture quality settings that you want, and it's not too stuttery, and it doesn't, because once you run out of VRAM, you start to run into issues where maybe some textures don't load, maybe you start using more system memory, just all kinds of stuff. You start to introduce more instability into your experience, but you can easily mitigate that by turning down some settings. So I really don't think that. I really do think, in my honest opinion, that 1080p is still viable. 8 gigabytes is still usable. Probably not ideal for most people. If we're being honest, 1080p with an 8 gigabyte GPU is still very viable. To be completely honest with you, I would say more than 90% of games run just fine at 1080p on an 8 gigabyte GPU with max settings. Like 90%. There's so many games available, and that's the biggest thing, is there's so many games available on PC that sometimes you might just not need all that VRAM. What if your thing is 360 era games? Dude, you can run that shit on you can run 360 games on a ROG Ally at like 120 frames at 1080p, no problem, like all day. Like you can max that thing out and like run those on a ROG Ally. So 360 era games are great, but what if you want to run Xbox One games? Those ones are definitely a little bit tougher. The majority of them are going to run perfect on, I would say, pretty much almost any game on the generation will run just fine on an 8 gigabyte GPU. But say you're into a lot of, and then the next, like Xbox Series X, PS5 generation, we are starting to get to a point where the majority of games are still going to run just fine on an 8 gig GPU. There's a lot of them, especially like your esports titles, and that's what they market these cards as, is esports games. They're going to run extremely well with 8 gigabyte GPUs. They run just fine. But then you get some other games that are absolutely a lot harder to run on an 8 gigabyte GPU. I mean, if you're into playing them AAA bangers the day they come out, maybe find a GPU that matches the VRAM of the consoles, because then that way you're not going to get left behind in terms of like the visual quality or anything like that, is shoot for that. You're still resolution is still gonna be a major factor. If you want to play 4K, you're absolutely using upscaling. If you want to play, if you're playing at like 1080p or 1440p, then maybe you can get away with like some native resolution or something. Definitely more at 1080p though. So yeah, I'll tell you guys that like the biggest issue between 8 gigs and 16 gigs, because my 5060 Ti, that's got 16 gigs, and then my 5060. But performance-wise, there's not a massive gap. Like, there's not a massive gap. The big thing is the VRAM, and I kind of feel like, I don't know, guys, buying this 8 gigabyte GPU and going back down to 1080p has kind of humbled me in a way that like it's not that it humbled me. It's that it like reinvigorated me for gaming. It's like humbling myself and going down to 8 gig GPU and a 1080p monitor and still being able to find that happiness that I have with games and still be like blown away by the visuals and excited to be in the game and having like a native resolution for your screen. Guys, that helps a lot. That helps a lot. If you're chasing all this fancy, fun, high quality stuff all the time, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Not at all, man. If you can afford it, absolutely, man. Keep the economy going. Keep buying stuff. Keep people having jobs. If you've got the money and you've got the resources and you've got the, you know, the stability in your life, hell yeah, man. Spend your money. Enjoy life, man. You only get to live one time. But if it is a struggle and it is hard, just know that like 1080p is not a bad option. It's not bad. Like if I can play it, if I can bring my bougie ass, sit it in front of a freaking 1080p ultra wide monitor with a 5060 8 gigabyte GPU and legit enjoy that experience, I think you can too. Like, I get the hype. I get it. When 4K first came out, like, I was a legit early adopter. They were talking about 4K. I legit went and spent $3,000 on a freaking edge lit. Oh gosh. Oh, I bought a Philips 4K TV. I spent $3,000 for that thing, and it was 65 inch. I put that on the wall, man. And I remember hooking up my PlayStation 4 to this thing, okay? The Pro wasn't even out yet. And I hook it up to it, and like the upscaler in that TV was just so incredible. It made all my games look like a water painting. If I got up real close to it, it looked like they were all water painted, you know, like brush strokes and stuff. And I just remember how cool that looked, and I was like, damn, that looks good. And then you get back and it still looks good. That TV had an incredible upscaler. I wish I could remember the thing on that, because then I upgraded and I got like these, I went with Vizio, and I started getting some Vizio TVs and stuff because I wanted, you know, the full array local dimming, you know, because the first one was like edge lit. So I wanted that full array local dimming. So I went with, you know, Vizio or whatever. And I just remember like that jump from 1080p to 4K. It was almost like that was the first time that I can ever remember in my life, because this is about the time I started watching Digital Foundry, and like I started getting super picky with games. No longer would I just go out and buy the games I wanted to buy, the ones that look cool. I would legit wait for Digital Foundry to tell me if it was 4K. I passed up a lot of games. I did, man. I passed up a lot of games because of my snobbiness, because I was bougie. I was like, man, it's got to be 4K or I'm buying it. I was a PlayStation fanboy since PS1. Xbox One X came out. I legit dropped my PlayStation 4 Pro on the side. Things started collecting dust. I was like, yeah, man, Xbox is giving me 4K. You know, and it was fine. I mean, I'd bought an Xboxes before, but I'd never been like, oh yeah, dude, I'm an Xbox guy. And then I became an Xbox guy. Right when the Series X got announced and the PS5, I was like, man, I'm going with the freaking Series X over the PS5. And I legit waited like three months after PS5 came out before I even bought it. And then I bought it and I was still like super headstrong about Xbox. And it's like, these are the things that we tell ourselves. You know, we put ourselves in these positions all over stupid metrics that, for the most part, man, both base PlayStation 5 and Xbox, Series X, let us down. In terms of like being 4K beasts, no, man, they turned out to be 864p. 864p, like all your games coming out. Xbox dropping games at 30 frames per second. You know what I mean? Like, it's better. I think my mindset for gaming now is significantly better, because now I will not ever let something stupid like resolution or frame rate or texture quality or any of that shit ever stop me from playing a game that looks interesting to me ever again. I will never let that happen. I will go out if I buy a game on Series X and it's 864p, you bet your ass I'd probably go buy a 720p monitor just so I could play that game at native resolution or as close to native resolution as possible. Never again. I after going out, after spending this last couple of years on PC, checking out different types of resolutions, you know, going to 1440p, getting stuck on 1440p for a while, man. And then ultra wide, and then OLED, and then freaking ultra wide OLED. You know what I mean? Like, I will not ever put myself in a position to where I ever, you know, deny myself the ability to play something that I thought was interesting or wanted to play when I saw it. A lot of games come out, they get showing off, and then later down the road we find out like, oh my gosh, they're woke, you know, like Dragon Age Velguard. From the moment I saw that game, I was like, damn, I want to play that. And then they start doing all the freaking woke shit, man. And I'm like, oh, why do they got to do this stuff? And I was legit ready to pass that game up because of it. And then I was like, you know what, man, I'm just going to play it. I wanted to play it. Let's see how bad it is. And I ended up playing the game, and the stuff that everybody was like, oh my gosh, it was like, oh my gosh, it was such a non-issue. I was like, all right, whatever. 5 seconds, and then that Tash gets destroyed at the end. I was like, whatever, dude, I don't even care. Well, I was like, whatever. So yeah, 1080p is absolutely still viable in 2025, depending on the hardware you have. Especially with PC. With PC, you can actually buy 1080p monitors that give you HDR support. Like this monitor, the Scepter, has the HDR. The 4K OLED I got behind me, that one there drops to 1080p at 480 hertz. I get OLED freaking HDR in that. I think that HDR is more important than resolution any day of the week. So these are the things that I think about. These are the things that like keep me up at night. These are the things that keep me going. These are the things that absolutely matter the most when it comes to gaming. Is I just want a good experience that looks good, that's affordable, that's reasonable, and I'm perfectly okay with making, you know, certain sacrifices if it means being able to provide better content for you. Or give myself better understanding of how things actually work, as opposed to just jumping on the freaking hate wagon and trashing every product that comes out. Now, a lot of people call me an MFG shill. Look, guys, if it didn't enhance my experience, I wouldn't promote it, period. Why would I? If it didn't like make the experience better for me in some ways, or at least make the or at least enhance the experience, I wouldn't promote it. And when it's bad, I tell you guys it's bad. Like, oh my gosh, I played it on this game and it wasn't really that great. You know, some games, there are a few games out there that it's just not worth using because it takes away more than it brings. But most of the time, frame generation is awesome, especially if you have a higher refresh monitor. You just turn it on and the smoothness is there. Whew. yeah, you'll be able to see some of the imperfections for sure, but I think you can deal with them. I do. Have faith in you. I have faith in you to be able to make your own mind up, man. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm nobody super special. Like, I am just a 44-year-old video game lover, just like you, that's a consumer that just happened to start a YouTube channel, and now I get to talk about games to complete strangers, but I think it's cool, man. I enjoy this. I absolutely enjoy this. And being able to play at 1440p, 1080p, 4K, whatever, all very good options. All very good options. I mean, even the Nintendo Switch, bro. Like, these guys are going at the Nintendo Switch so hard. Like, these guys, they just want to hurt it. They just want to hurt it. I don't know why. I mean, obviously the screen's not the best thing ever. You know, the shit these guys find to nitpick about everything to get clicks, man. It's like, okay, whatever, man. Like, it's their opinion. Let them have their opinion. All I can do is do my best to give you my opinion. Most of the shit that these guys complain about is never even, like, I never even thought about. You know what? I played through all of Death Stranding 2 on a 4K display on a PS5 Pro, and I was like, gosh damn, this is one of the best looking games ever. I wasn't questioning like the visuals or the resolution or any of that crap. I was legit just playing through that game on a $700 console, feeling like, damn, I'm glad I bought this PS5 Pro. That was the main thing I was thinking. I was like, gosh damn, I'm so happy I bought this. And I mean, even if Death Stranding 2 was the only game I played on that, it was well worth it. It was well worth it. I would buy a PlayStation 5 Pro in that game every day of the week. Every day of the week. Definitely worth it. 100% got my money's worth out of it. I feel absolutely justified that I bought a PS5 Pro for that game. Wow. Wow. And when it comes on PC, I'm going to buy a second copy of it. Yeah, that's just how good it is. I love that game. It is my new favorite game of all time. For real. I'm not even joking. And like, don't worry. I mean, I'll get you guys some more content. As soon as I'm feeling better, I will get you guys some more content. I've got like 1.5 terabytes of storage filled up with content for freaking Death Stranding, because I want to go through and I want to talk about some of those experiences, but I want people to have enough time to play through it before I go out there spoiling everything. But wow, man, what a freaking game. What a freaking game. And to think I could have been an Xbot bashing PlayStation, I still would have bought Death Stranding either way, because I love the first game, and I played the first game before I even started the channel. So one way or another, that PlayStation 5 Pro would have gotten bought with that game if that was the only game. If I would have been like an angry Xbot, I still would have bought it. And then I would have blown my mind, and I'd have been like, oh my gosh, man, that would have ruined everything. So, all right, guys, yeah, 1080p, absolutely still a viable option in 2025. So is 8 gigabytes. To be completely fair, 8 gigabytes, you can get by with it. You can play games. You can enjoy the gaming experience. Like I said, 1080p with ultra settings is kind of like overkill. Medium or high, perfectly acceptable. Obviously, if there's lots of vegetation, if you hit medium and it takes away a lot of vegetation or something, go ahead and crank that back up. Some of that stuff, that you want to keep, go ahead and crank those settings back up. They do matter. But 1080p does have less pixels than 4K and 1440p. So sometimes, the textures and stuff, they just kind of not necessarily blur out. But they're not as noticeable as they would be on 4K, so you don't necessarily need them that high. So yeah, just experiment and try utilizing lower settings. Like, you don't need ultra settings on everything. I promise you. I've been testing that. So all right, guys, if you like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. Hit that like button, and Froggy out. Welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to address some things with the RTX 5050. This is the entry-level GPU for Nvidia. Obviously, it's their newest Blackwell GPU, so therefore it has access to
the newer features of Blackwell, like MFG4X, also has access to DLSS 4 and the whole works. If you watched other benchmarks, they're saying it's about a 4060. So why do people act surprised when I show them games actually running very well on the 5050 at 1080p using reasonable settings for some of these games? You know, guys, the PC community, man, you guys are actually weird sometimes. Like, people are legit mad that this GPU can actually provide a gaming experience. So the funny thing is I've been sitting here for the last, I would say, 3 days now. I'm not ready to do a review on it yet. I want to gather some more freaking data and to give you like a more well-rounded picture for this 5050, okay? It kind of did exceed my expectations so far. Like it really has. I find it to be in a very interesting spot. Now, the last 50 series card had what, 6 gigs? 6 gigs of VRAM. This one coming in at 8, that doesn't really bug me that much because it is an entry-level GPU. This is essentially the GPU that's probably going to be in those sub $1,000 pre-builds that you'll find at like Best Buy or on Amazon or something like that. You'll find them, they'll have like cheaper parts. They'll have, you know, like a cheaper CPU. They'll have, you know, maybe an air cooler, probably like, you know, a terabyte of storage, maybe, you know, they're going to be like they're going to have cheap boards in them. You know what I mean? Like, those PCs are going to be like let's just call it the Roblox edition of the Nvidia GeForce. But that's cutting it a little bit short. That's not giving it the full credit for what it actually is and what it actually can do. Especially like with a lot of these AAA games. Now, I was able to play Alan Wake 2 just fine. I was able to play Cyberpunk 2077 just fine with ray tracing. I was even able to turn on path tracing on Cyberpunk. Obviously, we're using, like our good buddy Jensen said, none of it would be possible without AI. And he was right. It actually works if you use the AI. Games like Black Myth Wukong, I was able to play that just fine using the features. I don't understand the logic. For the last, how many years has it been? Like over 3 years since I got into PC gaming, I have been told in all caps, yelled at, screamed at, that the features are the future. The features are the future. And so I'm like, okay, and I railed against it. I was like, no, man, if we give in and we let AI and all of that stuff take over, we're going to see a lot of job losses in the market. Boom, that's happening. We're seeing a lot of freaking developers close down. We're seeing a lot of people get laid off. And a lot of stuff being replaced by AI. Hey, you guys told me to embrace the features. Now I'm embracing the features. This generation, with using the features, I kind of should have probably did a last generation because I feel like my experience would have been even better. But I was pigheaded. I wasn't, you know, really thinking about that. I was like, no, man, I came from console. I didn't pay $1,000 for a GPU to turn on freaking features. Well, this generation, I changed my tune, I changed my mind, and I was like, okay, you know what, let's just try it. There's no reason fighting with the whole community. There's no reason fighting with one half of the community. Let's just use it all and try to see what it can do. And now that I'm using the features, now I got you guys coming to me, telling me that, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, I'm able to play Silent Hill 2 on here. I'm able to use all of these games and play them at a decent frame rate, getting a good experience, something that I'm like, okay, cool. And when I turn off the features and try to use it, yeah, this card does get crippled by a lot of the ray tracing and a lot of the other stuff. But when I'm using just native resolution, native rendered games that don't even have upscaling, don't even have like that, and I'm setting it like high, very high ultra settings, stuff like that, like Assassin's Creed, gosh dang, Odyssey. I'm at almost 100 frames a second on that game at max settings, like maxed out at 1080p, and I'm like, okay, this is very good. I can absolutely play that. Same goes for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. High settings, maxed or high settings, native 1080p. Dang, running about 100 and 125 frames. I'm even able to play, I'm not even joking, lock Assassin's Creed Shadows to 30 frames a second with turning everything on and being able to play that game, or being able to use the upscaling and frame generation to get the exact same type of experience that I'm getting on the other games. So I find it weird. I do. I find it freaking weird that people are like legit mad and angry that I'm showing people that this actually works. It's almost like they're saying I'm misleading them. Every number that I get from this GPU, is that not fair? How is that not fair? Like, how is that misleading? If I'm using the features and it's giving me that experience and it's okay and it's meeting my standards and I'm actually able to play the game, how is that misleading in any way, shape, or form? Like, I don't get that. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. The same YouTubers out there telling you that MFG 4X is trash are the same YouTubers that were telling you that freaking 10 gigabyte 3080s were awesome, that DLSS looked better than native. It wasn't even until this generation's DLSS 4 that it actually looks as good as native. I mean, these are the same guys that told you all that, and now you're gonna and now all of a sudden they're telling you MFG 4X is bad. Look, guys, you're free as a consumer to make up your own mind, and I encourage that. I absolutely encourage you to buy your own stuff and figure things out on your own and look at it. The old way of doing benchmarks, guys, at least in my opinion, doesn't give you the full. It doesn't give you the full story. I'm sitting here, when I watched Hardware Unboxed's benchmark for this card, I was like, oh gosh, that card is trash. I legit felt like, man, I shouldn't even have bought that. I felt the same way about the B580 after watching that. I was like, this is not gonna be good. And then I get it, and to my surprise, both of these cards are more than sufficient for playing video games at this price range. Seriously, if you can get the B580 for $500 or $250, absolutely pick that up over the 5060 or 5050. You're going to get a better deal, obviously. But I did run into problems with that card, not being able to play some games. I didn't write them down or anything because it was only like there was only a couple of them. But I will be doing more extensive testing on that. But the 5050, guys, this is not a bad GPU at all. If this is like your price range, and you're getting this, you know, the Roblox edition, the Minecraft Master, dude, you could. I haven't tested Minecraft yet, but I plan on it. You could probably legit play the freaking the ray traced Minecraft with this GPU. This is crazy, guys. This is entry level GPU, and I was legit getting a playable frame rate. Cyberpunk 2077 with freaking ray tracing, and I ran around in that game for a lot longer because people are like, oh yeah, once you play it for a certain amount of time, then it stops working. I didn't have any problems with it. I spent over 45 minutes in that game and did not have a problem with it. And I've done that a couple times. I've done that in a couple settings. So yeah, I don't know, guys. The 5050 is not the evil card that you think it is. It really is a decent product. Maybe it's all part of the game, you know, for the YouTubers to tell you they're bad, and so you have low expectations when you go into it, and then when you get it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Maybe I'm doing the disservice. Maybe that's true, but I like to show you guys what they can actually do from a consumer point of view, because I am not a tech reviewer. I'm a consumer just like you. I spend my own money on this stuff. I play with it. And I do, like, I have certain expectations for when I buy it. Like, I'm not buying these products just to sit and trash them for cheap, easy clicks. I'm buying them because it's like, okay, I want to see for myself how the experience is going to be. So in my opinion, the 5050 is a decent card. It's running pretty good. I'm able to play all the stuff that I want to play on it, even at native resolution at 1080p. More than sufficient to do what I would want to do on it. So, all right, guys, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Froggy out. Hello and welcome back to Froggy's Gaming and Tech Reviews. We are rebranding the channel, so we're going to start off with that. But guys, I wanted to talk to you about something today, seeing as the 8 gigabyte GPU, the Nvidia 5050. the Nvidia 5050. I see that this GPU right here is causing a lot of commotion in the PC community, asking, hey, is that even worth it? Well, let me show you guys something. Okay, so this GPU cost $260. Okay, this one was like $259 or something. This is a 4 terabyte SSD. They cost me $247. Okay, so almost exactly the amount of a freaking 5050 GPU. This GPU is 8 gigabytes, so I mean it's not like the best that you can get, but I do want to make a video. I do want to go back and I want to test this out a little bit more. I want to run this up against games that are pre-2020. So basically anything that was made before the new console generation, I want to test this at 4K on those games and see what type of an experience that this 8 gigabyte GPU will do. Because if I remember correctly, Xbox One X did have 12 gigs of VRAM, but I think it was only able to use like 8 or 9 of those. So I'm hoping that we can get, and I'll throw like the 9060 XT 8 gigabyte and maybe the 5060 in there too. And I'll just go through and I'll test a bunch of those older games that are pre-2020, because look, there's no way to really, push back against popular thought when it comes to 8 gigabyte GPUs. Yes, they are long in the tooth. No, you probably shouldn't buy one. You should probably get something that has 16 gigs of VRAM. But I kind of feel like these GPUs are literally designed to make you, I don't know, it's almost like they're kind of trying to push you into the 16 gigabyte GPUs by making these the price that they are right now. Because I am starting to come around to the whole, maybe these GPUs are a little bit too much. I only feel that way for the 8 gigabyte GPUs though. I only feel like these ones here are just barely enough to make you want more. So in the longer run, the 16 gigabyte GPUs from both AMD and Nvidia, the 9060 XT, 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte, those GPUs are going to last you a pretty good while. I mean, I was sitting here doing a video for you guys tonight, testing out the 9060 XT up against the 9070 XT on 3440 by 1440p, and that 9060 XT is legit holding its own, like sitting there swinging with the big boys, and I'm like, gosh dang. Because think about this. If Nvidia and AMD are selling you GPUs that are entry level, under $500, I mean, just under $500, but these GPUs are able to do 3440 by 1440p and give you a dang good experience. Yes, you're using frame generation to an extent, but you could get you can get over 60 frames just using upscaling. So you can get over the 60 FPS hump on a lot of these games still using features like ray tracing. And I like frame generation. Okay, especially MFG4X, especially on this card, okay? Nobody's going to show you that. Nobody's going to show you that because it does make a difference. It really does. Does it fit the narrative that we're not getting a big enough power increase? Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't fit that narrative. It actually really does kind of skew with what Nvidia and AMD are saying. Okay, like you're getting these massive upgrades. Yes, it is frame generation, but hear me out, guys. I've been testing it for the last couple of months. I have no reason to lie to you. I don't get free GPUs from Nvidia. I've never even gotten an email from Nvidia. I've bought these and I've tried them with my own money, and I'm telling you that for the most part, I don't think I've ran into a whole lot of games this generation that don't take advantage of that. And when I'm out there spending this amount of money on more storage for my PC for all my games, because I need more storage. I every time I think I got enough, I run out. Going through my Steam collection and looking at all those games, I don't even have them downloaded. So I'm like, gosh dang, I got to buy more storage. So I'm spending this, and that's what caught me out about this GPU, and that's why you're getting this video, is because I was looking at this when I was getting ready to buy it, and I'm like, gosh dang, that is almost. I mean, if I went with Samsung this time, This just happened to be on sale. If I would have went with Samsung like I normally do, I normally get like a Samsung or even Western Digital. Samsung is probably my favorite brand of SSD. Crucial would be second. I love Crucial. I would say I got as many Crucial drives as I do Samsung drives. But when I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the entry level 8GB GPU that was able to give me 72 frames on Cyberpunk with ray tracing, I was like, wow, that's kind of impressive. Now you kind of have to put yourself in a like a discovery phase when it comes to GPUs like this, for real. I don't recommend it. I really don't. If you can afford more, push yourself a little bit more. You know, the popular thing is right now is to recommend the 9060 XT 16GB. Yeah, that just makes sense. Now you're looking at going from like $260 to like $370, but you got to think of it this way, okay? You know, like the little way I've been talking about how, you know, you contrast it, compare and contrast it towards other forms of entertainment or whatever. If you do that, honestly, the 16GB GPU is going to pay for itself pretty quickly. You know, over a few months, obviously, you're going to get enough entertainment value out of that price to where it's going to be like, and I say that because after just a month or two, once you recoup the money that you spend on that and things are, you know, stable again, you know, if it put you out a little bit, like, trust me, like some people, you know, you're going to spend $370, it's going to put you out for a little while. So you look at that, and once you regain your footing or whatever, it doesn't matter anymore. Like it's already paid for itself. By that time, you're already well into your entertainment value for the GPU. So yes, if you can get that extra money or make that extra jump, it is well worth it, and it will pay you back in dividends, because these 16GB GPUs are going to last you 3 to 4 years easy. The next generation, by the time we get next generation GPUs or consoles, even if they only have 24 freaking gigabytes, even if they have 24 gigabytes, a 16GB GPU is still going to last you well into that console cycle. You might have to turn some settings down, but let's be realistic, man. Most of the developers are not even going to start tapping into that power until about year 3, maybe 4. If you're looking at this, like, you're finally getting stuff like Death Stranding 2 on the PS5 Pro that's like, yeah, that's really good. So don't buy this GPU unless if this is your only option, okay? And this I gotta stress this. If the 5050 is legit your only option, okay, it's good enough to at least play like older games really, really well. Like, it does do a pretty dang good job. I was able to play like Ghost Recon Wildlands. I was able to play most of the games that I like to play. A lot of my Ubisoft open world games, no problem. I could play those at an enjoyable, comfortable experience that I was like, okay, yeah, better than 30 frames per second, 60 and above most of the time, decent visual quality. You got DLSS 4, you got freaking multi-frame generation, so you can play a lot of the stuff, like you can, but I would go for that 9060 XT. I'm telling you guys, that card is a very special card this generation. Not even just because it has the full 16 lanes of PCIe, whereas your 5050 and your 5060 are going to struggle on like Gen 3, PCIe Gen 3. They're going to struggle. You know, you need at least Gen 4 so that you can take advantage of these. So, yeah, I don't know, guys. Like, I've had a really good time with Blackwell this generation. So I'm not as upset about, you know, I'm not as upset with Nvidia this generation. I actually do like, you know, a lot of the stuff that they bought. I actually feel like it brings more value than upscaling ever brought. The frame generation, to me it's actually more of a benefit to me. That's just me. I play with a controller. I play a lot of story games and open world games and stuff like that latency just really doesn't have that big of an impact on the overall gaming experience that I like to have. So I like it. I feel pretty decent I feel pretty good about it. So, all right, my friends, if you guys like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. I will have a link in the description for the Crucial P10 or P310. This here is actually Gen 4, up to 7,100 megabytes of of read. So this is a pretty decent one. This is a pretty decent SSD. So, all right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. They keep telling me the 8 gigabyte GPUs are trash. So I bought this 8 gigabyte AMD XFX Swift 9060 XT. 8 gigabyte GPU, dual fan, one 8-pin power connector, 16 lane PCIe Gen 5 GPU, 2 display ports, 1 HDMI port. For the MSRP price of $299 to test out some games, let's find out how bad it truly is. We're gonna go ahead and watch the benchmark first. Why does it say 50/50 on there? I was supposed to change that, sorry guys. This is the 9060 XT, I promise you. 100% GPU utilization, 55 degrees Celsius. I will have that fixed after this. As soon as we're done with this, we'll get our we'll get a look at the overall comparison versus the 50/50, the 50/60, 9060 XT, and the Intel B580. We will check all of those out. It's looking pretty good, nice and stable. It's actually doing pretty good on the frame rate too. We're 53 right now. It's actually doing quite good. I should have put what freaking... I'll have to enable the other thing one of these days. Yeah. $48. And that's actually quite good. I think this GPU is actually going to do pretty good on this test. We got fluid simulation, so we didn't have that on a B580. So that was kind of weird not having that. But there we are with that part of it. And then we'll jump right back into the other part. Before we test out a couple of games real quick. There we go. Yeah, 38, that's good. That's pretty nice. That's just under. Yeah, that's actually doing pretty good. It is under the 9060 XT, 16 gigabyte, slightly under the 5060 Ti, but definitely above both the. I'm pretty sure it's above the Intel 5050 and 5060. We'll definitely see shortly though, just how much. As soon as this thing is done, 70 framesy. This is actually a pretty decent overall performing GPU, especially with the stuff that you'll be able to put this through. Using the features and all of that, we'll definitely be finding out just how big of a problem that VRAM buffer is going to be. Because I've been pretty curious about that. There seems to be a really heavy pushback towards 8 gigabytes, and I just want to make sure that I am giving the community the best information possible, as opposed to just outright hating on something for no reason. I mean, if games will still play, then it is what it is. If you could save some money by getting an 8 gigabyte GPU and your setup works out for that, cool, no problem. Let's find out what it will do for you. as opposed to just outright telling you it's trash and that it's outdated tech or whatever. Both AMD and Nvidia are working on texture compression technology to make it so you can stretch your VRAM further. So I don't know, maybe it's not quite the problem that everybody says it is. So let's go ahead and wait till the results load up. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn this part off. That. Okay, so compare the results online. Let's get this over here. Pop that up. So it looks like we got a 9351 with the 9060 RX 9060 XT. The result is hidden and will not be shown. So better than 38% of all results. So that is actually pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare. We're going to add this result, add to compare. Then we're going to come over to my results. And then, so we have the 9060 XT. This one here was the 16 gigabyte. So we're going to add that to, oh no, wait. The RTX 5050. We'll add that one. And then we'll compare. Oh wait, I think we could probably put more on there, saying more. Back. Let's see. So what, I got a 5050 on there. Wait, let's do the one with the best one. Let's give it the best. And then we got the 9060 XT 16 gigabyte. And then we'll have Intel Arc B580. And then maybe we can add one more because we've got a 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte. Oh, we can add even more. 16 gigabyte. Did we do a 5060? Ah, here it is. There we go. So now we've got the 9060 XT 8 gig, 5050, 9060 XT 16, Intel Arc B580, 5060 Ti, and the 5060 all under one banner. So guys, let's see. So comparative position. Wait, 3, 6, 1, 5, 2. Okay, let's see which one's the best. 9060 XT 16 gigabyte out of these 5 cards. Now let's see the results down here. So this one here is plus. Oh, it's not giving me a percent this time. Where's my percent at? Dang it, we're gonna have to. So what is this? 95. The next closest is gonna be this 5060 Ti, 43. So 44 frames, 43 over here on, what one was this? Oh, on the 9060. So like it goes what? 43.32, 43.39, or 29. So okay, so it goes 1. Okay, so it's 9060 XT 16 gigabyte, 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte. Then third is the 9060 XT, followed very closely by the 5060. What? 5060? Then the Intel Arc B580. And then the freaking, that's pretty crazy, guys. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, the 5050. The 5050, obviously the last one out there. That is all good. All of these were done. Look at this, 1.3, 21, 23, 5.84, 5.84. System info version. So valid result, all yes. July 18th, 10th, 6th, 5th, 3rd, and 23rd. So there you go, guys. There you have it. 9060 XT 16 gigabyte is the winner by 1 frame. 1 frame. You see that? 1 frame. 1 little old frame. Out of that. Boom. And most of these results are the very first time. I did give the 5050 a little bit of a hand up. That was actually the first run I did on that because the second one came in lower. So these are always usually first run. Look at that. 26 frames versus 44 frames, guys. That there is, that's a pretty, this is playable. This not so much. This is playable. This is playable. This is playable. This is playable. This one right here, yeah, this right here, you got to turn on the features. Boom, out of the gate. Already have to turn on the features. These 4 other cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 other cards are actually playable. So that there is just the synthetic benchmarks. That there's already looking pretty good. This here's literally in line with my testing between these 2 GPUs, the 5060 Ti and the 9060 XT. They are legitimately the exact same product. The Nvidia card just has a little bit better features. When it comes to the 8GB GPUs, guys, we have the 5060, we have the 5050, and then we have the 9060 XT. These 3 are going to be 8GB cards. So obviously this one here is already beating the 5060 by a couple frames, like literally 4 frames, like a little bit less than 4 frames. So I mean, yeah, for the same, for $50 less than what I paid for this 5060, paid $350 for that. This here I got MSRP for $299. The 5050 at, well, let me see. Let's see which one's the 5050 and that one. So let's pop this off. Let's pop the 5060 Ti off. Let's pull off the B580. And then let's pull off the 5060. And then compare. 60% is what that is saying for this. 60% uplift. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. So 60% better than that for, how much money is that? Like $50? $50 less? Yeah. I mean, that's definitely 60% for $50. Yeah, I guess that seems all right, to be completely honest with you. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and get on to our first game. All right, guys, we are back. We are running Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're going to run this at 100% resolution scale, 1080p. Graphics are going to be set to ultra high. So let's go ahead and see what we can get. Now, I know you guys probably are like, Frog, why do you always run this? Look, this here is a big open world game. There's plenty of detail in this bad boy. Like this, it's a very good looking game, very competent. It was just 4 years old. I mean, it's just a little over 4 years old back when the Xbox Series X and S just came out. So I like to run this as like one of them first games that I like to see, and you know, being able to run this, you know, pretty much maxed out. That's looking good. Now we are a little bit over VRAM. Obviously at 8 gigs here. Normally on the 8 gig cards I run this on high settings, but I wanted to kind of see like what we're going to get through here. So about 90 frames. That's very, very nice. So that means we'd probably be definitely up there if we just drop down to high like I normally do, but this actually looks fairly decent on this 1080p, running this all out. Actually, no, we're under the 8 gigs, so we should technically be all right. But obviously, we are going to get like a little bit of instability right there, just due to the fact that we are pretty dang close. Those numbers over there where it's a little bit higher, that there's because it's adding in your system RAM to whatever you're using. Over here on this side is actually what you're using for the in-game. That's why you don't really see that jumping around a whole lot. That usually stays pretty stable depending on the settings. You know, you look straight up at the sky. Ooh, but everything's still loaded in. And see, that's one of the biggest reasons why I use a lot of open world games, because these are probably the hardest to run and they require a lot more VRAM. But new technologies are coming out all the time that are helping, especially with Unreal Engine 5, with Nanite and stuff like that. And direct storage, things like that. Those are going to help a lot in terms of like bringing down the VRAM usage. So I don't know, like I'm kind of on the fence about 8 gigabyte cards being obsolete. I feel like new technologies might still make them a viable option, and if they do, then cool, you'll get to play AAA games. If not, you're going to have to adjust some settings. You're going to have to, you know, make some sacrifices if you buy this card. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of excited about them being able to deliver games, because at the end of the day, guys, while I love having power at my fingertips to just run everything, however maxed out with no problems, no issues. Even if you buy $1,000 graphics cards, man, you're still going to have the same. Trust and believe me, I bought enough of them now to where nothing is perfect. None of these GPUs are ever perfect. There's always that one damn game that you got to make some sort of a sacrifice to play it. You know, you either got to use upscaling, you got to do that. That's why this game right here is just in its pure form. Pure freaking form. But I will show you guys one thing that I did actually was able to do with this is I do have it so where I can play downsampled. So now we're about 1440p, and that there at ultra settings would give you pretty close to a 60 frames a second. So if you're on a 1440p monitor, you can still get about 16 frames a second. And then obviously this game here, you could still play at 4K on this GPU. All you got to do is set your monitor at the switch of a button. That's why I recommend these freaking dual display, because now I'm at 4K. Now you can see that the automatically switched. It's nice and sharp. And look at that, guys. We're still getting 85 framesy wamesies. But if you watch this, if we go in here and we go to options, let's see. No. Oh yeah, it's right here. Okay. Oh wow, we're at actually 4K. All right, we're at 4K. Let's see what that was doing. So 4K is going to give us about 45 frames. And look at that. We are still actually under VRAM. We're at 70. Oh, you know what, guys? Honestly, maxing out your VRAM, even at 1080p, oh, wow, that's crazy that it stays the same. It's like legit maxing you out. Oh, no. It's almost like it has real actual 4K freaking settings when you're, or not 4K. They're probably 1440p for this game. But here you go, man. You're about 40 frames a second. Even at 4K. So if you do this, like if you're at 46, you go into settings, and then you go into options, you come down here and you take resolution scale down to 80, pop that on, come back out into the game. Oh, look at that, you're in the 60s now. And you know what? It still looks fairly decent. Still looks pretty dang good. And now you're about 60 frames a second maxed out. Now I would obviously take this down to probably like high settings. You don't need freaking maxed out settings. Oh, dang. Start getting toward the city and we start going back down in the 40s. But out here in the wilderness, yeah, you start getting closer to the city, you're gonna start coming down. I mean, you can definitely tell the difference though. Like you can tell the difference in between fluidity. But there is one more thing that we can do, because we are on an AMD GPU. We can actually go back up to 100% resolution scale, drop our thing to 1080p, and then get into our beloved AMD Radeon, and then we can turn on image sharpening and put that about 50%, or we could do super resolution. Enable. Okay, so now we've got that, and then the sharpen effect will probably just run this about 70%. Okay, so we should be able to get out of that. Back. Now running 1080p on a 4K display. I don't think it's working. Let's make sure it's working. I might have to restart the game. Inactive game resolution, both width and height, needs to be lower than the monitor. Selected 32x18. I want to upscale from. We need to set it to 1080p. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, yeah. So now it's upscaling, and you've got like really decent. It does look a little softer out in the distance and everything. It does look a little softer, but at the end of the day, it still looks absolutely incredible, and it feels ultra smooth. That's just one of the benefits of an AMD GPU is you can still run these at 4K with just using those features. Like, yeah, it doesn't look perfect like 4K, but it still gets the freaking job done. We get back in here one more time, and then we can also turn on the fluid motion frames. Let's go high, and then let's go quality. And now we are even faster. That did take away a few of our frames. We're down to 53 now. If we put on the performance metrics for AMD now, let's do size up a little bit. Track in latency, frame gen lag. There we go. So that there gives us 15 milliseconds. And now we're at about 110 frames. So it legit is doubling our frames. So now we have pretty decent overall image quality. Looks pretty decent like that. Usually it does feel a little bit better with higher frames, but this actually does not feel horrible. This actually feels quite good running at 110 on here with the frame generator. And this is still without any upscaling at all. Well, I mean, no, it does have upscaling because we're just using the upscaling from Radeon Super Resolution, which is pretty good. Like it really does kind of make your image quality look good. I think I turned off, for some reason, I think it kind of turned off my freaking, my color. Yeah, turned off my damn color. Oh, wrong one. I don't know why I freaking turned off my color, but it did. That was crazy. See, now when you get your color back, it's not nowhere near, especially on a freaking OLED TV, guys. This just looks absolutely incredible. Incredible, man. So yeah, it looks clean. It's still got kind of a softer look to it in some spots, but for the most part, like, it looks clean. The overall fluid motion frames on this game actually feels pretty good on this one. The only, I mean, like, normally, like, you can kind of see it around him, though. It'll kind of give him that shadow around him, and then like up here on your compass and stuff like that, or on the other HUD things. So that is something that you would have to get used to, but man, you could easily play this game like this, especially if your budget is $300 and you want 100 frames, pretty close to 4K, a clean looking image quality. I would say this looks as good as PlayStation 5 and Series X with these same settings.
Go, get the murdering dog.
Whoa, dude, I don't have a weapon on me. I just have my shield. I don't know why I don't have my weapon. What the heck was I thinking? Never leave home without your weapon. They're not going to follow me. And if they do, they're not going to follow me very far. Because I'll run them right back over to my little house. Let's get in the water. Dang, how do I not have a weapon? But all right, guys, let's check out the next game. All right, guys, this is another game. This is the Uncharted series. Now we are on 4K resolution, no FSR, no upscaling whatsoever. We're at 100% resolution scale at 4K, and then we have the Ultra preset. So let's go ahead and watch a little bit of this. I did not let the shaders completely load in, but I just kind of wanted you guys to see something, you know, like a good looking game. Like this is obviously one of the nice looking games from the PlayStation 4 generation. Obviously the Nathan Drake collection is just a beautiful game. Very, very, very nice. Quality visuals. Staying pretty close to 50. We are 7,000 dang near maxed out. No frame generation. As you can see, I got the AMD thing on over here. No frame generation. And then we got the Steam counter up there saying that we're about 49, 50 frames. So we could probably end up playing this at 80% res scale. Let's go in there because that's probably what we're going to be at. We'll just do render scale. This actually looks pretty good, to be completely honest with you. So let's go ahead and get back in there. 80% actually looks really good on this. Hopefully that'll keep our frame rate a little bit over, but now we're only at 69. So, like I said, guys, these 60 class cards, play 4K when you can. And when you can't, you have a dual mode monitor that you can play 1080p maxed out. Or you could easily be able to do 1440p on this GPU and then have that upscaling to like 4K or something. So we're going to skip the cinematic because I want to do some like running around type gameplay to see how that's going to hold up. We're going to skip the cinematic too. Okay, yeah, see, we're in the 70s. Damn, this looks good, guys. And it feels good to play, too. 70 framesy wamesies. Kablap. Whoa, so rude. Hell yeah, let's do it.
Remember how to use it. You know, come back to me. Abra todas las puertas. Hector, you do that. You don't start a goddamn riot. Exactly. Hágalo. Qué cosa.
Let's go.
This is crazy. You're going to leave the
Need more ammo. Sheesh, I gotta recover. Oh man, recover. I need more ammo. Ammunition. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, see guys, it feels great.
That's working. Yeah, I see. So now what? Estamos en posición. ¿Están listos?
Sí. Busquen dónde fue.
Samuel, get behind something. What? Why? Just do it. You are right. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Estamos bien.
it out the other one.
Samuel, take cover. Samuel, in a minute, you will either be free or dead. Are you ready? Shit! Samuel, stay back.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. See, look at this, man. They just get all freaking...
Shit! What the hell do we do now? Keep moving it. Not gonna make it! Get down! Hold on!
Ooh. Got him, got him. Gosh, this looks so incredible, guys. 4K resolution, 80% res scale. Gosh dang, I didn't even see this guy. We got it! So, my friends. Alright, guys, so I will be doing some more content on this. We'll be making some more videos so that you guys can. Let me turn this light on. Oh, sorry. I'll be doing some more videos over the weekend. I'm getting ready to go see Superman though, so I'm gonna get this one out for you guys so that you guys can at least see that. But this looks pretty good. It's honestly, guys, we're gonna be digging deep into this whole 8GB thing over this weekend. Like I said, I'm just trying to find the truth, man. I get that everybody doesn't want 8GB GPUs. I understand that, but these are still fully functioning GPUs that are stronger than any 60 class card you've ever had before to be able to play a game like Uncharted 4 at 4K. Yeah, this is a good card. Don't knock them before you try them, and let's get to the bottom of it. Let's see what you guys can actually play. So we'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Froggy out. All right, guys, I guess it's time for another one of them heart-to-hearts about entry-level GPUs and when it comes to PC gaming just in general. So as you guys have heard, or as you've seen over the past few weeks, I have actively been testing out a lot of low-end GPUs. Like right here, we have the B580, we've got the 5060 8GB, I have the 5050 gigabyte, the 5050 8GB, as well as the 16GB 9060 XT and the 8GB 9060 XT that I have essentially been testing. Also, I do have the 5060 Ti 16GB, then the rest of my cards are higher end. So with all the time and money that I've invested into this, because I've done this for two reasons. One reason is to to really test the validity of what other content creators are saying. More along the lines of like, I feel like they're just kind of going too hard at it. They're showing you every single thing that's like absolutely terrible about these GPUs, but refusing to give you any of the good information, especially on new features like MFG4X, DLSS4, FSR4, and FSR's frame generation, AMD fluid motion frames, all of the stuff that really does help these types of GPUs really perform better. And the second reason, because I was curious. I started PC gaming on a 60 class card, and back then I came into PC gaming with completely messed up expectations, and that was just over time, you will start to learn this. But for the average gamer like you that is not going to go out and buy multiple GPUs to test all of this themselves, they are legitimately in the dark. You're in the dark, and most of that is constrained by maybe income, maybe you're coming from consoles and you're just like, I don't know what to buy, but you just know you want a good experience, and other mitigating factors that would potentially prevent you from gaining knowledge in the PC space and just kind of just going with what everybody else says or what the popular thought is out there. Look, trust me guys, I've been there. I get that. Like, I completely understand that. That's why I've went out of my way to actually pick up this stuff, from a gamer to a gamer, somebody that actually plays games. I'm not going to try to say that other content creators don't play games. Okay, they do, but I do also at the same time think that other content creators might just have this like, oh gosh, if you ain't got the best, you ain't, once they get to like 5090 class, they no longer, nothing else is good enough for them. They're just like, yeah, this is, why would I play that? I'll cover it for content, whatever. But I mean, think about it. They go through, they do all of these tests. I mean, like, I've been sitting here for the last week, for all weekend, going through and testing out multiple freaking games and like recording some recording some footage, while at the same time like sitting here being like, oh my gosh, dude, there's just not enough time to actually get into the game and like really play it. But I have this weekend. I got into some of these games and I started playing them on an 8GB GPU, and I come away pretty impressed for the cost that these cards are doing. Like, they may not be able to play every single game, and okay, that's, you get into it and you're like, okay man, like I want to be able to play games. Okay, now if you think about it, the 8GB GPUs, okay, these are the more affordable. I mean, these two right here are probably the most affordable on the market right now. You have the $300 9060 XT. This is the XFX Swift model. I love XFX. I think they make incredible products. I've always been happy with this one. This one here even has a dual BIOS switch on it, which is pretty crazy. And then like the Gigabyte, the Nvidia 5050, the RTX 5050 coming in at $249, and this one coming in at $300. These are your most affordable GPUs. And these two right here are pretty much going to set the foundation of what you can expect from an experience going forward. Now, this card right here, absolutely more powerful than the 5050. If you can spend the extra $50, if you absolutely have to buy an 8GB GPU, my money's on the 9060 XT. This card is a very potent card in terms of power, performance, stuff like that. Obviously, you're probably going to get less. The 5050 is going to be the higher, the best when it comes to like power consumption. If you're like in a place where you've got to really watch the power you consume, absolutely go for the 5050. That card is going to make you happy. And yes, you can use the features. MFG4X, you can actually use DLSS4. You have the entry level experience with the Nvidia. But when it comes to AMD, man, if having good power is important to you, like say you're still playing a lot of the older games, because there's thousands upon thousands of games that you can 100% play on an 8 gigabyte GPU, no freaking problems. Man, I was playing Ghost Recon Wildlands at freaking have 4K at 70 frames a second on high settings. Like, that was absolutely incredible on the 9060 XT. The 9060 XT also, 8 gigabytes, allowed me to play Star Wars Outlaws at 3440 by 1440p, performance FSR4 with frame generation, giving me the exact same experience that it was giving me on the 9060 XT, and to that extension, the 9070 XT with just using upscaling and no frame generation. Very cool, very cool. That made me very happy. That video, dedicated video for that coming out for you guys. So the question is,
ready, call the shot.
Can you still utilize these lower end GPUs to give you a good experience? Like I said, we've even tested the Intel Arc B580. Now the B580 is more of your, it really is in line with these newer generation like 8 gigabyte cards in terms of like power stuff. I think that this was what, number 4 or number 5. I think this was actually number 5 in the list of things, just over the B5, just over the 5050, and just under or right slightly above the 5060 8 gigabyte. So I mean, it's like, it does have the power of these new cards, but it does have a little bit, it's got an interesting VRAM buffer at 12 gigabytes. And obviously, you know, some of the features that are, this card right here felt more like a cross between, like if AMD and Nvidia had a baby. It would be the Intel Arc B580, because you do find yourself utilizing the AMD feature set a lot on this card. Even though it has its own, you still are going to be ending up using that a lot on this GPU, because it actually is just pretty good. So the Intel Arc B580, while if you can get that card for $250, absolutely buy it. That is a very good deal. A very good deal. Like, this card is more powerful than the 5050, and if it's the same price, you can't really argue with that. You can't really argue with that. That is going to be good. Hopefully it will get better. I mean, obviously they're still working on drivers and stuff like that. So essentially it will end up being a good card. But in terms of like value for Nvidia, okay, like, you're always going to be paying the Nvidia tax for even this, like the Gigabyte Aero. This is probably one of the most aesthetically pleasing GPUs that I've actually had. Don't I have? Oh yeah, it's actually in. I put the 5060 Ti back in there. This is one of the most aesthetically pleasing Nvidia GPUs I've ever bought. The Gigabyte Aero. I love the aesthetic of this card. I think it's absolutely incredible. But the performance of it is actually really interesting, because you're still getting access to all of the Nvidia features. You're still able to push this card to limits that seem unreal, to be completely honest with you. Like, they seem unreal. You get into these games, okay? And as a gamer, the fluidity of a game is a lot. Obviously, visuals, you know, the visuals are the first thing you're going to see, and you know, if you like what you see on screen, then the fluidity just kicks in, and it like makes that, like, the immersion is almost instantaneously. And once you get into it and you see what these cards can actually do, you know, if you block out all the rhetoric and you actually just see what these GPUs are capable of, it kind of like, it's kind of like mind-blowing to put yourself in there, because you come into it, obviously, you know, obviously if you've got higher end cards like I have, like a 9070 XT or 5070 Ti, and then you come back down to these lower end cards, for the most part, you've just heard so much negativity about them, and you've heard that they're trash, and you heard that, so like right when you get into it, it's almost like, wow, it's night and day for the most part. Yes, there are some games that are absolutely not going to deliver. I mean, it is what it is. But to play devil's advocate, and I've said this in a few other videos, you have access to significantly more games that run phenomenally on an 8 gigabyte GPU than you do not. You know what I mean? I think there's like maybe a little over 20 games that actually really test the limits of like an 8 gigabyte GPU, and of course that number will continue to grow over time for sure it will. So the biggest question is are these GPUs really as bad as they say they are?
Roger that.
You know, if you have realistic expectations, no, they're not. They're actually really good. They're actually really good, to be completely honest with you. Especially with engines like Unreal Engine 5. Now there are some like Oblivion that definitely needs more fixing, but when you get something like Mind's Eye or Black Myth Wukong, and you're playing those games and you set it to medium settings, they run just fine. They run and they actually still look very good. Unreal Engine 5, the nanite technology and the Lumen, it actually still looks pretty good, and you can run those at lower settings like medium and still have a very good experience. And to be completely fair, Unreal Engine, like, yeah, it can use a lot of VRAM, but it is also optimized to not use as much. Medium settings usually put you right close to that 8 gigabytes, but you can still get a very good deal. Games like Horizon Forbidden West, that one was a little bit tougher to run. It was a little bit tougher to run. I was quite surprised that one's harder to run than the remastered version of Horizon Zero Dawn. I was like, wow, that's quite interesting. So at the end of the day, I don't 100% agree with everybody else about the 8 gigabyte GPUs. I feel like you can still have a lot of fun on these GPUs. A lot of fun. I believe that they can still bring you a lot of fun. If you've got a 1080p monitor, they run well at 1080p ultra wide. Get a 1080p monitor, have some fun. Like I said before, get yourself one of them dual mode monitors so that you got 4K when you want to play 4K on the games that you can, and 1080p for everything else. That to me seems reasonable. I feel like that's a good deal. But for all of you out there that wonder what you should honestly buy, okay, and this is my honest recommendation. While I do not agree fully that 8 gigabyte cards are trash, I do fully recommend the 16 gigabyte AMD 9060 XT as the best value in gaming right now for GPUs. This is the number one. Like, this is the number one. It easily is on par with a 5060 Ti for less money, and it is definitely above every single 8 gigabyte GPU out there. This is an interesting GPU, guys. When I tested this out, when I first got this, when XFX sent this out to me, when I started testing this GPU, I started feeling like, oh my gosh, this is giving me what feels like a 7800 XT experience. Now, a lot of other people say it's a 7700 XT. Okay, whatever. Still pretty close to 7800 XT. Still gives me a really good experience. I can play up to 4K on this GPU. Using the features on a lot of games, I was quite surprised by that. 1440p, no problem. This card knocks 1440p out of the park. It does a great job. And then 1080p, it's a powerhouse. It literally just steamrolls 1080p. So when I say that this is the most versatile card to pretty much give you whatever you want at a reasonable price at $349.99, that's a good deal. That is a very good deal for this card. If you guys want to be able to play pretty much whatever you want, this is the card. The VRAM buffer of 16 gigabytes literally gives you the room to play basically anything, all the way up to 4K, which is pretty cool. And some games can play 4K very easily on this card. Some games, obviously, you're using the features, stuff like that, but I'm quite impressed. I wouldn't go as far as saying this is a 4K card. Definitely more of a 1440p card, but gosh dang, guys, that's my recommendation going forward this generation, man. The 9060 XT is an incredible GPU, man. I love this thing. And yeah, I mean, like the 8 gigabyte cards, they're not as bad as everybody says. They do The thing is next generation console generation, that generation is going to be a lot closer to PC. You're probably going to see SoCs still, or an OEM brand, depending on how Microsoft rolls out that new Xbox OS. If it's something that you can build a PC and then just slap it on there as your operating system, or if it's going to be for like the OEMs only, or however they do that. If PC and console are going to merge a lot closer next generation, I believe, even with PlayStation. I feel like the merger is coming a lot faster than a lot of us really see. And while I do think that there's still going to be system on a chip, I do kind of feel like you're going to actually have a lot more freedom on the next gen consoles. So there's when I would really start worrying about 8 gigabyte GPUs for the next, until those consoles launch. I think 8 gigabyte GPUs are a solution to a problem. I think that if that's what you need to get you by for a couple more years, cool. Next generation, once we start seeing the specs of the new consoles,
The checkpoint.
whatever the entry level console is going to be, is kind of where I think you'll need a minimum of half, because the new consoles right now actually have 16. 8 gigabytes has still been pretty decent. I mean, still optimizable. Most developers are really trying to optimize that, at least down to 1080p. But once you start getting, like to 24 gigs, you'll probably need 12. You'll probably need 12 as your minimum. And I do kind of feel like both AMD and Nvidia are seeing that. Obviously, AMD is not afraid to put 16 gigs on a 60 class card and charge you $50 more than an 8 gigabyte one. So obviously the memory is not the issue. The VRAM is not the issue. It's more along the lines of like, if they put 24 gigs of VRAM on a freaking 60 class card, now with the new features, you might not never need to upgrade again for a very, very long time. And let's face it, they want to keep making money, so they keep making cards that are going to put you in an interesting position. Because let's just put it this way, the 16 gigabyte AMD 9060 XT, this card can last you a long time. It's got the feature set, it's got the frame generation. Obviously, depending on how much, I don't necessarily think game engines are going to grow much more. Like, if they find more optimization in Unreal Engine 5, it's only going to get better. It's going to get easier to run. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. So yeah, my honest recommendation for you is 16 gigabytes. And
Lost the target.
yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Looks like they're feeling for red. Okay, we're still good. Opening fire on these fuckers. Relax, we're still good. Eyes up that turret. Okay, we're still alright.
That makes 5. There's a weapons case over here. Ah, I could use this. He makes 5.
I got 2 Sicarios.
Where you got him? Yeah, makes 5.
¿Qué chingados esperas? ¡A partir de la madre con todo! ¡Vamos a enseñarles quién manda!
I have a shot. Engaging.
¡Por el amor de Dios! ¡Ábranos usted! ¡Venga, por favor! ¡No se lo suplico! Venga, estamos aquí, no hemos hecho nada. Libérenos, por favor. Yo podía sin poder abrir esa puerta y no se lo para.
Got a reference here to a large cartel prison at a village called Rosario. They keep a lot of rebel sympathizers there.
Even the sloppiest prisons keep records.
Yeah, the warden's office might have intel on some of these people who disappeared. Let's check it out. Frag out. I got a target carrying submachine guns. Frag out. Come in mierda, culé.
Heads up, we got a turret.
Just spotted one with submachine guns.
We're running down the clock. Let's go, people.
Damn, out of time.
All right, guys. So, as you know, for the last couple of months, I've been testing out the entry-level GPUs from both Nvidia, both AM and AMD. Okay, or even Intel. I got the B580. Guys, I gotta tell you that honestly, in my testing, okay, and this is like legit playing games, utilizing these GPUs. I got the 8 GB 9060 XT in the PC right now. Okay, I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning, going through and playing. I played like 20 games. Okay, last night I was sitting there. I'm playing them, and that's why I've come to this conclusion. Okay, the hate for 8 GB is way overplayed. Way overplayed. Is there truth and merit to what could potentially happen in the future? Absolutely. I just don't see people going out and buying 8 GB GPUs to play the latest and greatest AAA bangers at $70. I feel like if you are at a budget point where you're buying a budget GPU, I just don't see you out there spending $70 a pop on brand new games. Now, I've been playing, okay? If you've been to the channel for a while, you know that I buy a lot of games. I buy a lot of games, I play a lot of games, I test a lot of games. And my favorite games are open world games and sim racing. Open world games are probably the hardest games to run. They need faster memory, they need more bandwidth. They're massive open worlds, okay? They need good CPUs, stuff like that. So I play a lot of these games. And I'm on this 8 GB GPU, okay? I throw it in there, I start playing, and like immediately, I get immersed right into these experiences. Now, yeah, there's some games that I need to turn down the settings, and there's some games that I actively turn down the settings even just because in some of these games at 1080p, they actually look better with like medium settings or something like that. Sometimes the ultra settings just kind of makes it way too noisy on the screen, and when you turn it down a little bit, oh man, they pop right into focus, they look good. So is what I want you guys to understand is that a lot of these newer games are still essentially calling for like 8 GB GPUs as their minimum recommended specs, or some of them are like their, you know, when you've got the developers out there still supporting these cards, still making settings. Look, if you're buying an entry level 8 gigabyte GPU in 2025, and you're expecting to run at like ultra settings on games that are built for the console generation that have 16 gigs of VRAM, though these games are built with more memory allocation, just in general, just to get you good overall visuals. Now, yeah, you're going to want a 16 gigabyte card. You're going to want, you know, the more VRAM you can get, absolutely is better. So I don't understand why, like, there are options. Okay, there are options out there to buy more VRAM. So the fact that there's just so much negativity and so much hate towards these 8 gigabyte GPUs, look, I'm a gamer first. Okay, I love reviewing tech. I think it's awesome. I absolutely, you know, guys, one of the best things about reviewing tech and buying these products and like testing them out is I'm not even joking, man. Like, I bought the 5050, 8 gigabyte GPU, okay? Like, I bought the 5050 and like, you have other content creators calling it waste of sand, or that it's e-waste, or it shouldn't even exist, and blah, 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 okay? And I throw this GPU in, and I'm thinking, I'm like, finally, Froggy is gonna come to the same conclusion that everybody else did. That card was like really pleasant to use, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I went into it with a mindset of like, hey, let's see it running on 1080p. Okay, if I'm out there buying an 8 gigabyte GPU in the 50 or 60 class, okay, and this is just me, in the 50 or 60 class, I'm looking at that card and I'm like, all right, this card's designed for freaking 1080p. Okay, if I'm buying a 50 series or 60 class card, I'm looking at those cards and I'm thinking, all right, like this is like a 1080p card. Okay, most of these cards, like the 5060, the 5050, the 9060 XT, every single one of these cards, the 9060 XT 16 gigabyte, the 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte, every single one of these cards in the B580 will do freaking 1440p gaming pretty comfortably most of the time. And when I say most of the time, I'm saying like that is the majority, that is not the minority. Okay, the minority that these 8 gigabyte GPUs are going to struggle is very, very few, very few. And if you absolutely have to play the newest AAA bangers on your $300 60 class card, guess what? I don't think I've found one game yet that I couldn't play on them. Okay, like, yeah, you are making some sacrifices to settings and all of that stuff, but to be completely fair, Unreal Engine 5 games, low settings, don't really look that bad. They actually look quite, I was like, wow, dude, I was playing Mind's Eye, and I'm sitting there, and I'm at the lowest settings, you know, on the 5050, because I'm like, dude, I don't know if this is. I went into that game like fearful that it wasn't going to work, just because like the performance has just kind of been all over the place across the board. I went into that game very fearful, like thinking like, wow, this game is absolutely going to struggle. And so I get in there, I'm on the low settings, and I'm playing it, and I'm like, this is actually quite pleasant to play, and it looks pretty damn good. I mean, in my opinion, honestly, playing games like Black Myth Wukong, being able to utilize stuff like 4X frame generation, those technologies for these cards are actually a freaking game changer. Especially when you start getting into, I was sitting here and I was playing Spider-Man, okay, tonight when I just got back from going out to Idaho, and I come home and that's the first game I turn on. I'm like, you know, because I'm doing like all these testing on the 9060 XT. I've got over 100 plus games downloaded that I want to start doing like 20 games at a time video. And so I'm sitting here and I'm on Spider-Man tonight and I'm playing this. I've got everything ray tracing maxed out. I've got all the visuals, everything just maxed out, and I'm sitting there and I'm playing this. I got frame generation turned on. Obviously I got FSR4 because it's an FSR4 game at 1080p. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this game and I'm playing it. And I'm looking at the frame rate counter and it's like 200 frames or whatever. And I'm just like, gosh dang, man. Like 200 frames. You know, they're fake frames, obviously, but I'm sitting here I'm on a controller, and I'm playing this game, and I'm just like, why would people be mad about this? Is what I don't understand. It's like I'm able to pull off the fighting, the combat, the swinging around. It feels the thing is like frame generation might not be good for every single game out there, but for the ones that it, but for some games it is like, wow, this is freaking magic. And I'm not even just saying that. Like I'm legit, like, you know, swinging around on a game that when I first bought Spider-Man Remastered on PC, I was rocking a 3060. I had a 3060 Ti, okay? And it was stuttery. It was struggling. You know, DLSS kind of helped. You know what I mean? But it's like, on a 3060 Ti at 1440p, I was maxing out at like 70-ish. Okay, and I was like legitimately using like DLSS and all of that stuff. Well, on the 9060 XT, the 5060, the 5050 Ti, the ability to legitimately turn on frame generation. Okay, because we all know the Spider-Man has like this like CPU thing. Like it's got like these weird, like the configuration on PC isn't what it is on consoles. Like consoles, it's like a super smooth experience, but when you get over to PC and stuff, you just have like things just aren't working right. Okay, on a lot of these, on some of these games, it's just not working right. So the ability to turn on frame generation, even 4X, MFG 4X, or you know AMD's FSR4, FSR3 frame generation, it bumps this game up well above what I was playing before, well above. And I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking about this as I'm playing it. I'm like, gosh, damn, this game is ultra smooth. And it's so immersive to play like this. And so I really do feel like there's a lot of gamers out there that would absolutely benefit from just getting like real information about these products, okay? Is MFG 4X good for every scenario? No, probably not. It really doesn't work that great with a mouse and keyboard. I mean, it does, but it's like you gotta have a pretty decent like starting point frame rate wise to be able to get a decent enough, because you can just feel the latency a lot more with mouse and keyboard. But if you're using a controller, and I cannot stress this enough, if you're on a controller, like, you do not feel the gosh dang latency as much as you think you would. Especially, dude, if you're hitting 200 frames on a game using frame generation, you're not feeling any latency. That means you've got a good enough starting point to where you're actually getting enough frames to where like that feels good. Think about it. To get like MFG 4X at 200, you need at least 50 frames, right? It would have to be creating 50, but we all know that's not the case. It actually takes a little bit of frames away. So you're probably way higher. If you're hitting 200 frames a second, you're higher than 50. You're definitely higher than 50. So you're actually getting not as much latency as you would expect. And when you're on a controller, like the screen is just so smooth that like moving the controller and making those movements, like it just feels incredible. So when I listen to people out there talking about the doom and gloom for 8GB GPUs, I'm just like, I guess in a way I'm kind of confused, because I thought that PC was legitimately supposed to be for everyone. I mean, honestly, guys, if my content creator buddies actually did have enough power to convince Nvidia and AMD to actually lower the prices to whatever they think is affordable, I've already made the video. I've already made plenty of videos illuminating the fact that, like, yes, while $300 is a nice little chunk of change up front, the amount of freaking the amount of enjoyment and freaking entertainment that $300 GPU is going to bring you over the next couple of years is literally nothing. And once you literally see it the way I do, in terms of like how much you're paying for it up front versus how much entertainment you get, you really have to go out and look at other forms of entertainment and you'll come back thinking like, gosh damn, like I thought $300 for a GPU was expensive. Wow, maybe you'll be able to understand that like, hey, I can definitely up my budget to get more because I'm gonna get my return. I'm going to receive enough entertainment. Like I said, me and Miss Frog went and saw Superman the other night. We spent about $80. You know, actually it was probably closer to 100 after all the concessions and everything, just for a couple hour movie. 2-hour movie for $100. That's 1/3 the price of a $300 GPU. You know what I mean? Like that's a pretty good amount of that GPU for just 2 hours. I've put more time on the 5050 alone to easily be more than 2 hours worth of gameplay. Well over. So what I'm saying is like, obviously you can make your money. Like you'll get your money's worth out of these GPUs. Like I said, guys, I think the whole thing about the 8 GB GPUs is absolutely overblown right now. I think the features of these new cards, the way that DLSS can work at balanced mode, DLSS 4 at balanced mode on 1080p and still look clean. Yeah, dude, you're shooting yourself in the foot by letting these guys get you all angry over these products. Honestly, my new stance on GPUs is pretty much get a good monitor. A monitor will make an absolute massive freaking difference. Playing 1080p on that LG right there behind me, yeah, with HDR OLED or OLED HDR and colors, and oh my gosh, man, it looks incredible. Honestly, guys, 1080p, that's all it really needs is HDR. HDR support would fix a lot of the problems that I think a lot of people have with native 1080p screens. Just get one with good HDR and you're freaking set. That's all I'm gonna say, guys. Look, to this day I have not found one game that's come out that I cannot play on an 8 GB GPU. Whether that's making sacrifices to get to a playable frame rate or using the features, I've been able to play every single thing that I want to play on an 8 GB GPU. And there are literally thousands of games that you can play on your 8 GB GPUs. Thousands. Buying one of those and playing older games, that's not a bad thing, okay? Anything pre-2020 should run freaking fabulously on an 8 GB GPU. And that's only 5 years ago. That's 5 years ago. Even up to into this generation, games have been made that will run very well on an 8 GB GPU. Look, you might have to give up your ray tracing. Okay, cool, acceptable. You might have to lower the settings to medium. Okay, not bad. Still looks great at 1080p. You might have to turn on frame generation. Oh my gosh, it feels fine. It's not the doom and gloom that everybody out there is trying to make it out to be. It's not that bad to play at freaking 1080p. It's not, okay? That is a fact. It's still HD resolution. It still looks incredible. And 8 gigabytes, really is more than enough to satiate most gamers out there on the market right now. It is. Look, we're all human. We all want more. We all want the best. We all want to try to make ourselves, you know what I mean? Like, it's PC gaming, guys. It's gaming. It's entertainment. It's supposed to be fun. Look, get the best that you can get. You know what I mean? 8 gigabytes. I would much rather take an 8 gigabyte GPU from this generation than previous generations too. I get more features. I get more power. I get the whole 9 yards, man. Like, 8 gigabytes is not as bad as they say. It's just not. It's just not. Like, I've fully enjoyed everything that I've played. I know, guys, that I go on and on and on and on in these videos, but look, man, I do. I feel like there's people out there that are so influenced by this stuff that they would put themselves in a position that yeah, like, I think about all the gamers out there that have got the money in their pocket to buy one of these new cards, okay? But that's all they got. Or they're stuck on their old cards, or they're looking for a used card or something like that. And they eat this stuff up, man. These guys come out, they speak down to them from their free 5090s, and they influence them. I would say 8 gigabyte GPUs are going to play 95 to 98% of every game out there. More than fine. More than fine. That to me is like, okay, that's some pretty good odds. That's pretty good odds that that GPU is actually going to play what you want it to play, especially these newer ones, man. And most of the new games right now have to run on Xbox Series S, okay? Or they have to run on freaking Nintendo Switch 2. Or they have to run on the 8 gigabyte cards that AMD and Nvidia keep making, because developers are going to support that. Why? Because Nvidia and AMD are still making them. I would love for everything to be perfect and go to at least a minimum of 12 gigabytes. I think 12 gigabytes should be the standard going forward next generation. Okay, it should. And it might be if the new consoles double to 24 gigs. I think it will go to 12 gigs, and then I think developers will still support that. I think a lot of developers are still going to support 8 gigabytes because 8 gigabytes, frankly, is enough to produce some very beautiful visuals. So, especially if they're optimized, man. Like if these guys optimize these games, there's some incredible games. Like I was playing Far Cry 6 on that video I made. I'm like, wow, this looks incredible. This looks absolutely incredible. So, I don't know, man. 8 gigabyte GPUs are just fine. So, if you guys like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Froggy out. All right, my friends, welcome back to FrogBoyX1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we are going to try to see if we can get Oblivion to be playable on a 9060 XT. This is the 8 gigabyte model. So we're going to go ahead and attempt to try some stuff and see what it is going to do. Now, I would just record this like screen capture, but we're going to do it this way with the camera. That way, if the game crashes or what goes on, we will be able to keep trying until we figure out if we can play this game and if it is even an option. This game is remastered in Unreal Engine 5. This game has been pretty unoptimized from launch. So is what we're going to do first is we are at 1080p resolution. Okay, the screen is a 1080p display at 1080p resolution. Frame rate is uncapped. So we are going to try very first with the Ultra preset. We're going to turn Lumen off and Hardware RT off. But we're going to do native AA FSR. We'll turn frame gen off for now. We don't want no frame gen on. So native resolution, 1080p, ultra settings. Let's go ahead and get in there and see what this is going to do for us. So when we're gonna try until we get this running right. Unreal Engine 5 games are very freaking weird in how, in just how they're presented and stuff like that. So we're gonna attempt this first and see if this is something that we can even play. Let's turn off that. It might have crashed because I had, yeah, so it looks like it's gonna crash. Okay, so close that, send and close. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna disable Afterburner. Afterburner is when you're trying to use like FSR4 and stuff like that, sometimes Afterburner will make your game unstable. So we're going to get back in and we're going to try the exact same settings. Now we should have access to the Steam overlay up there to give us that. So, oh wow, we're not even using FSR4. So let's go ahead and gaming. And we're going to enable FSR4 so that we actually get a pretty looking game. Okay, so now we're back in. And just let me show you guys the options again real quick. Let's just show you that we're still on everything and frame generation is off. So let's go ahead and see if we can even load into the game at these settings. I mean, so far it's showing us that we're about to crash again. Yes, we are crashing again. So it does not look like we're going to be getting into this game at ultra settings. Okay, so close without sending, start. So let's go ahead and launch the game again. This time we are going to go down a little bit lower on. It's still showing me that this thing here is bugging out. Close that. Options. Okay, so apparently this does not want to work at that. So now we're going to try detect now. Okay, apply changes. Now this is saying that we should be able to do high. And now this time we are actually going to try quality. Continue. Ultra sometimes is a bit extreme. Now, I don't think I've tried this on any of my 8GB cards yet. I think I did. I think I did on the 5060 and the 5050. Okay, looks like we are going to crash. Out again. Okay, I'm not going to report the issue. Okay, so obviously high settings are not going to work with Oblivion, which is a shame. To be completely honest with you guys, this is feeling more and more like an optimization thing as opposed to just an 8GB card not being able to run it. And I'm going to prove that after this because I do have some very quality levels. So obviously it doesn't want to do high, so now we're going to try the medium settings, and then we were going to take our FSR down 1 and we're going to apply that. Okay, and now back out, continue. I think I honestly do believe that this is still more of an issue with the game itself and not necessarily like being able to load in, because we're not. All right, there we go. All right, so medium settings, 100 frames a second. There we go, there we go. Okay, we're about 7.9 on the VRAM. 8GB, so let's just run around for a while and see if this is something that we can actually play around with. I'm going to be in this view. So what did we get down to? Balanced on FSR? I feel like we're about balanced on FSR. Okay, and we're about 127 frames. Now, you guys got to remember, we are not using any kind of frame generation right now whatsoever. But we are using upscaling. So that there's essentially, that's giving us a pretty good frame rate. Now we are over here kind of close to the Gold Coast. If I remember correctly, yeah, let's go this way. Let's get back into the city and see how the city actually performs. Because usually when you're at a city, that's when this game, you know, like really starts to hit out. And with the new update, I have tried this on a higher rated card with 16 gigs of VRAM, and was able to easily freaking play this game on one of those without a whole lot of stuttering and stuff throughout the game. So I'm wondering if it really is just kind of tied to Afterburner giving the game some issues too. Obviously, we're starting to get down here. We are, looked like for a second there we were getting to 8 gigs. So let's see. It was feeling a little bit stuttery right there. Okay, we're still in the 70s, and there wasn't like a massive like struggle with frame rate or anything. Let's go ahead in first person mode. Obviously, we're not going to be able to get any of the other cool stuff, but image-wise, this looks incredible with FSR 4. Okay, so I mean, like, we can essentially go down. Balanced is usually like where I'm like, okay, if you go any lower than balanced at 1080p, you start to run into some issues. But yeah, this is running just fine for me. Now, obviously, yeah, I mean, if you want to try to use this thing maxed out with ultra settings on 1080p, yeah, you're probably not going to be able to do that. But running around here at 37 to... Here, let's see something real quick. If I can get... Because sometimes once the freaking driver crashes as much as it has on this, I was trying to pull it back up to see if we could, because yeah. So as you can see, you know, we're on an 8 gigabyte GPU. I just wanted you guys to know that I'm not trying to cheat anybody or cheat anything. This is an actual 8 gigabyte GPU, and I guess that's kind of cool that there still shows me. Let me. Ooh, that there got us down. So every time I've come out this door out to here, I've always gotten that freaking, like, that frame rate drop for some reason right there. Yeah, see, look how much higher the frame rate or the VRAM allotment is here. We're pushing 9 gigs in this, 22 for system RAM. So right here is obviously going to give you some issues. And that's what I was looking for. I was like, I want to see how bad it gets over by the city, because over here at the Gold Coast, if we get back over to Crydale, I'm wondering how bad that would be. Because once you get out here and like just the world, you don't need as much VRAM. But still is one of those things where we're gonna play this for a few minutes. We're gonna probably do like maybe a half-hour video on this, kind of test out some things. 500 feet, seaweedsies. Still in the 80s. I mean, it doesn't feel like stuttery or juddery or anything like that. So I mean, it's okay so far. But that 9.2, 9.3, 9.0. Let's see if it goes down if I look up at the sky. It's like it wants to hang on to some of that VRAM. Maybe there's like a VRAM leak. Ooh, look at that. Smoke Hollow Cave, or Smoke Hole Cave. There's nothing there, bucko. Boo, 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 boo. Get down into like third person or something for a minute. So the city really did kind of push that VRAM up to 9 gigs because we are running about 22 gigs of RAM over on that side now. I'm wondering if it's just like a memory leak because it started at under 7, I believe, or under 8. Ooh, piece of candy box. I like candy boxes. Take it. We'll take it. I wish it was daytime. Because at daytime, then we would really know. See, if you look at that, how it's getting to 9.4 and it's not going back down no matter what we do, that right there kind of tells me that it's not, that there's something broken with the way that it's doing the, something tells me that there's something broken with the way that it's allocating VRAM. Yeah, look at that. We're getting up to 9 point. We were getting the and our look at our FPS. It is starting to go lower now. So we started out over 100. At a respectable amount of VRAM. So I don't think this, I think, whoa, did you see that? My hand is turning furry. Oh no, I got fur on my thing. I was like, what the heck? My hand is turning furry. That kind of sucks. Honestly, guys, I would chalk this one up to just not being optimized still, because there's no reason for the VRAM to keep going up and holding. See that? Or maybe it just needs 9.3 for it. But we are at the medium preset. I don't know. I haven't done a whole lot of checking in on this game, honestly. To be completely honest with you, I do know that it has been running better since the update. But look at this. We're at 9.7, 9.6 now. Like, it just continues to add more, and our frame rate's going down. It's like it's not releasing anything. It's just holding it and building on it every time we see something else. Because I bet you anything it would even do this at all right, let's try that. Apply. We're going to get out and we're going to get back in, and we're going to keep running around to see if it keeps doing the same thing, because I'm starting to believe that it does require a lot of VRAM at the higher setting or whatever. At the higher settings, but for some reason there's like a leak in the memory. All right, let's see if our options were saved. Pretty sure they are. Yeah, okay. Because when you first do the thing to optimize it, it set us at high. It set us at high settings, so that really does. All right, see, look, we're loading in at 5.8. Oh, I guess we're gonna crash. See, this game is just broken. This game is just broken. Like, this has nothing to do with VRAM. This has everything to do with this game is just not optimized. And so people are like going out of their way to why are we not using our super res? So look, we don't even have access to FSR4 now, really? Aha! Yeah, this is just interesting. See, at low settings, and we're loading into the game at 6. Look at that, already to 8. 7.8. Already over 8. Yeah, this game is just broken, guys.
Get lost.
Yeah, this is just broken.
Hiding citizen.
I will try this out again on like a higher end card. I just haven't had time to sit down and like really play this one a lot. So we'll just keep walking around for a minute to see if our VRAM just keeps going up like it was just doing a minute ago. Because now at low, you're seeing all the grass and everything drying. That just doesn't make sense. This game is not any heavier than any other Unreal Engine 5 game out. That's why it doesn't make any sense. And we will prove that. We will go through and I'll show you another game. I mean, I was legit playing RoboCop Rogue City at freaking 4K with epic settings. And epic settings are, yeah, so that doesn't make sense. There's something disturbingly wrong with the underlying engine being overdone, you know, with Unreal Engine 5. See, because we've got the frame rate, like the frame rate nice and high, 170. This is an incredible GPU. I've seen some incredible games on this 8GB 9060 XT already. So this doesn't make any sense to me. For this running the way that it does, maybe now, see, because that now, yeah, this shouldn't be at low settings. There's no reason for low. Should go back into the city real quick. Or go back over there to the dock. Now look, we're still freaking climbing up in VRAM. I don't know. Maybe it gets fixed, maybe it doesn't, but yeah, this is not a, I personally would not use this game as a cudgel to beat 8GB GPUs, because yeah, I just wouldn't. I haven't had the best. I have a 9070 XT, 5070 Ti, and even those two GPUs have struggled on this game. It wasn't even until this last patch that it actually started running a little bit better, to be completely honest with you guys. But even so, I mean, maybe, no, look at that. Now we're going to start getting to 8.3. Oh, I want your axe. Absolutely. I want that battle axe, so I'm picking that up. Woo, woo. See, because now look, we're at 8.4. Yeah, this has got a memory leak, guys. That's all. There's something wrong with with the game. You should easily be able to run this at high settings, or a mixture of high and medium settings. You should easily be able to do that. You should be able to max out the freaking... You should absolutely be able to max out the freaking vegetation and all of that stuff. Like, no problem. Like, that shouldn't even be a problem. Low settings, 8 gigs on low settings. Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense to me. I was trying to load in at just over 3 or 6 or whatever. Yeah, I don't know if I would use this game to beat 8 gigabyte GPUs over the head with. From everything that I've seen from Unreal Engine, I personally think that 8 gigabytes is usually fine for Unreal Engine because it's more of like a streaming thing as opposed to like having to load all that stuff out there in the back. It's more of a streaming thing the way it does with Nanite and Lumen and everything else. So to me, I've played a lot of games on Unreal Engine 5 at like max settings, and even those don't max out like 16 gigabyte cards. I mean, yeah, using frame generation and ray tracing and all of that, but if you're spending $300 on a GPU, ray tracing should not be your first goal. It should be kind of closer to, yeah. I don't know. To me, I mean, honestly, if I bought this game and this was my GPU, the only GPU I had, this would literally be a bad optimized game. It's playable. It's definitely better than it was on the Xbox 360. But yeah, I just feel like if we get to a town, we're gonna really see things kind of mess up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here to this thing real quick, or at least close to it, and then we're gonna go. Oh wait, I forgot. We can go today. Bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah, now we're to daytime. So now that should give us a new set of shaders and stuff too. And then we'll just run over here to this next town. I think there's another town right over there. So I mean, you're still getting pretty decent texture work and stuff. I mean, but look at that look at the draw distance and stuff. Look at all the pop-in. You're getting so much pop-in. So that's why it just doesn't make any sense to me. I guess the unoptimization is just part of the charm. That Bethesda charm for a game like this.
How do you do?
I do fine. I do fabulous. Hi, my sugar. Oh, I got it. Don't worry about it. Come on, Pandy. Oh. Okay, like that city's like right over there, so let's hurry up and just get to it. Oh, fat ramp camp. Wow, they can rhyme, champ. Yeah, look at that city. We're gonna get there. You just got so much pop in it, freaking. Yeah, I mean, they're like, this takes me back to the olden days of gaming. Still possible. They really need to they have to work on this game some more. This just feels fairly broken. I'm wondering if that Sky Oblivion is going to be pretty good. Where's all your textures, bro? Where's your textures at? All right, so you load into the city.
Over here.
I don't want to talk to you right now, dude.
How do you do?
We're gonna run through the city and then back out.
Have pity,
So look how freaking much our frame rate's taking a hit in here. We're dropping into the 80s. Alright. Okay, so 8.3, let's see if we can still keep dropping down to 0 VRAMage. And then it crashed. Yeah, see, I personally just think the game is broken, to be completely honest with you. I legitimately think this has everything to do with unoptimization and not necessarily 8 gigabytes, because I want to show you something. Like, where's another one of those Unreal Engine 5 games? Let me see if I've got one right here. Doom, Dark Ages, Forspoken. Trying to figure out which one is. Mind's Eye. This here is an Unreal Engine 5 game. Let me just show you guys the difference. Both are open world, so we should be able to tell the difference on this one. Shaders have got to warm up though, so whoa. The shaders are warming them on up. So this might take a minute, but I'm not going to cut the video. I still have Oblivion crashing on higher end GPUs too. Wow, this is taking forever. Okay. And we'll do the same thing we did with we'll do the same thing. Unreal Engine 5 game, but we'll turn off, make sure we don't have any. Handy, go. Now this is obviously at max settings.
We're here. Come on.
We're pretty close to max settings.
You alright?
Yeah.
I took care of them.
I'm gonna need better gear than this. And remote access to Swivel Core servers.
That will be earned with good reputation.
Like I said, it's a prison.
Yes, look after the factory. We need all hands on deck.
Copy that.
Hey! Diaz. Got a first name?
Jacob.
Cool. I'm Charlie.
I'll be seeing you around. Charlie.
See, even this game here has just recently gotten an update. I just did a video on this one the other day. See, now look, we're at 9.5. Now let me show you the settings real quick before we go any further. See, this is set to epic. Epic freaking settings. And we don't have... And we're at quality. None. Balanced. Because this should be FSR4.
Navigate to factory.
And so this here pretty much feels about right in terms of, but if we go into settings and we actually put it at, or we detect best settings, that automatically sets us to medium. So let's resume.
Charlie. Back so soon. Wait, how did you get my number?
Listen, I wanted to wait until we weren't being monitored to ask you a question.
And as you can see, Unreal Engine 5, this has got all the nanite, everything. So it's,
Maybe a very low one.
and you notice how we are starting to be at medium settings around 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Because that usually has been the case with Unreal Engine 5 games for me, is about right there.
Well, on one hand, you
And it plays just fine. Like it feels just fine on
You
here.
got that same weird piece of metal on your neck as the guy who hired me to hack your company.
It's an implant.
Man.
Beyond that, I don't know what it does. I got it at the military, but it was made by Silver Corp.
Maybe they're controlling your mind, Jacob Diaz.
Yeah, I hope not. But I'd like
I
to
love
know
the
about
way
it.
this game drives. Gosh, this is so cool.
Maybe that's something this criminal can help you with.
And this here is one of the games that are kind of unoptimized too, but it looks like this one here has gotten a lot better since since launch for sure. And usually Unreal Engine 5 games on 8 gig GPUs, I would set them to medium settings.
So why 32K? That number means something special to you?
If I told you, that would be too easy. Maybe I'll let you guess.
Sounds like we have a deal.
Okay, I gotta do some work. I'll talk to you later, Mr. Jacob Diaz.
I believe you will,
Ooh,
Mr. Charlie
boy.
Robin Hood.
I feel like this is a respectable frame rate with no frame gen on. Very, very cool. Now we'll see, my friends. Now we will see. Yeah. Now you can tell this one here is at 8.6 because it's also using 24 gigs of system RAM as well.
What's going on?
Sit down, Diaz.
What is this?
Please note, I am recording this interview.
Name and ID number.
Jacob Diaz. Employee number B7.1.
Please be aware, I am monitoring your vitals as well. Who is this tattooed bionic man, Diaz?
I know as much about him as you do.
You have some kind of agenda here.
What? No.
Your pulse is elevated. You don't have to lie.
I have these gaps inside my head. I can't remember much of the last 5 years. I have no recollection of my time in the service.
I knew it was strange that someone with your military background would accept an entry-level security job. Unless there was some specific reason you wanted access to our facilities.
What were you looking for? Sorry, guys.
Can you tell me what you were looking for here?
I'm not sure. All I know is that Silvercorp is a piece of my story and that the
Yes.
answers...
What is it, Claudia? It's with me now. Can it wait? Let me speak to Marco. Yes, understood.
Yes, understood.
Mr. Silva wants to see you at his home.
Yeah, we're playing a little more. Gosh dang, 50% battery already.
And Diaz, I've got my eyes on you.
$8.4, man. 8.4 gigabytes. Now my car's black. You notice that, guys? It goes from
Silva's house. All set. How's it going? Not great. I just got full-on interrogated about Morrison's office.
I love the way this game drives. Like, this feels so cool.
We're talking about here. I guess it wasn't exactly subtle.
Subtlety is not your style, Jake. What do you tell her?
I told her the truth about me. Hopefully got you off the hook. It got weirder. I've been summoned to go see Marco Silva.
Me? Marco Silva? In person? This must be serious.
Got any advice for how to handle it?
Well, from what I know, you remember that phrase, smartest guy in the room? Well, this is him. So, if you want to impress him, probably the less you say, the better.
Never wrong. Got it. Thanks, Seb.
I mean, I do have 3 monitors hooked up to this right now too, so I'm wondering if that there costs us a little bit more VRAM. All right, guys, another awesome cutscene. I mean, this one here's got that nanite technology. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes it just doesn't.
Mr. Diaz. I'm Claudia, Marco's assistant.
Oh, you can just call me Jacob.
Come on in.
A lot of privacy out here, huh?
He bought all the neighbors' properties within 2 years. That's an understatement. Follow me. Can I get you something to drink? Canyon tea, kombucha, seltzer?
No. Thanks. Hey, is it?
Yes. Marco only surrounds himself with the best. Come on.
Wait, that means I'm the best.
Yes, Mr. Diaz is here. Please don't touch anything. Marco has specifically placed everything in this house using the key principles of feng shui. He's a germaphobe, so just be mindful of physical distance.
I'm sorry, some of the dialogue in this game really cracks me up. Super feng shui.
Jacob Diaz. Mr. Silva. What can I do for you? I saw your work at the planes. You have got a mean streak.
Yeah.
I get it from my father. Me too. How do you fare at parties? Well, sir, I like to think I'm pretty polite. Excellent. Follow me. Oh, and Jacob. Rigby told me you've been snooping around. Well, sir, there are some... Save it. You do right by me, and I'll take care of you. Understand me? Yes, sir. Then call me Marco. I've never been a fan of the military pomp. Come on.
Nice, look at that, 8 gigs. See, I mean, we're still doing good. We're running smooth.
The latest model.
Marco,
Oh, yeah. I've decided to attend the Hannah's party after all.
I'll send the attendee list to your lens.
Great. And
There's already one packed in the drone.
thank you. Hey, you're flying.
What? He's not on the list.
Then put him on the list.
Now we get to fly, guys.
You like it? This is the Silva SM Sky Car. 2 words. Our premier seller. So, tell me about Jacob Diaz.
That freaking camera's like right in my face.
Well, I grew up back east, but I'm an immigrant. Immigrant? Hey, me too. Best people.
We're gonna fly right through the city. Usually right when you get around the city, like the center of the city is when things like really start to get hectic, because that's when like there's just way more going on. So we'll try to stress it out through there too. Medium settings on this game actually look fantastic at 1080p. Like it looks incredible. Even low settings actually look pretty decent on this.
Don't be afraid to dream. Alright, that's what keeps us all alive.
The depth of field thing, if they would get rid of that, I think the depth of field would probably be...
I know what it is, Jacob.
See, look at this. Now we're about 8.6 flying over the center of the city. 8.7. Yeah. It gets pretty heavy in the city, so that's when you start to notice like frame drops and stuff like that. Like it just gets a little bit. It used to get really bad when you would drive. Like it was pretty bad. Like the loading for Unreal Engine 5 is a little bit weird for open world games. They just need to figure out how to fix that. Supposedly it's supposed to be fixed with Unreal Engine 5.6, so hopefully that is the case.
Good enema can really help you bypass any blockage. So, I have to play nice.
Yeah. See, right when you get away from the city, boom, we're starting to drop down to 8. See, this is a lot better optimized than it was at launch. That's why I wanted to show you guys this game versus an actual Unreal Engine 5 game that struggles versus one that doesn't, you know, one that struggles versus one that versus one that's built layered on top of another engine. There's a massive difference, because this here is a lot more palatable to play when it starts running out of VRAM, and it's not like super crashing on us.
This is Jacob, my new security.
Diana.
Come on.
Dirty Diana.
Diana was CFO of Silver Corp when we first launched. She's on the board now and has her hands in just about every new venture in Red Rock City. Well,
So look at those fabulous visuals.
Jacob. Look at the back of his head. Recognize anything?
What? Where did you find him?
Yeah. So we'll do this cutscene and then we'll do the combat section, and then I'll upload because we're already at like 37% battery. But I wanted to try to give you guys as much room to see how this runs versus just doing like a shortcut on it.
Okay? Come on now, think about it.
Let's get this over with. Oh, that the men and women of the Backmatter District are behind me.
Smile. Oh, thank you.
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Well, Jimmy. Back Niners are the lifeblood of Red Rock. Now, if we want to become better again, I'll
Yeah,
introduce you.
the freaking depth of field, we need to get rid of that.
Matt Vega? The Silva. Oh, Mr. Silva. What an absolute pleasure. It's nice to see you. Person to person and not surrounded by a sea of lawyers.
Please. Call me Marco.
Oh, great, Marco. In that case, I'm Shiva. Hey, I have to ask you, is it true that your rocket can hold an entire 747 jet as cargo?
Duh.
Heard that one before. Afraid it's not possible. But as I'm sure you're aware, our rocket launch is only a couple days away, and you still haven't given us clearance for launch. So,
Okay, cut.
alright, cut the shit. What's it gonna take, huh?
Well, give me access to the back-end system of my city bots like I've been asking. And then we'll talk. Excuse me, Marco.
Yeah, something seems off about this lady, man. I don't know.
Calm down if you walk its way out.
Jacob, something's on the line.
Ooh, boy. Look at them visuals, man. This looks so good. Oh, even at 1080p.
Thanks to my dear friend, Diana. Because Red Rock City boasts the finest air quality. But, not only that, we also have the cleanest drinking water. While progress partners screamed about global warming.
Ooh, that's getting up there for a lot of VRAM. 8.7. But then it like, yeah.
When the casinos shut down, I had the foresight to open our doors to new companies. And today, together, we will continue to make this growing economy thrive. Now, the corporate elites corporations who have used their influence to create policies to influence themselves and to better their own situations, rather than you, our average Joes, are going to be blown right out of wedlock. Looks like somebody might have a little too much to drink. What's the matter? Nothing to say, Rocket Man?
Something's wrong.
Maybe a little too interested in multi-planetary colonies than Red Rock citizens, hmm?
Ooh.
No.
Get me out of here. Yes, sir.
Companies like Swivel, instead of being thankful, have turned their backs on the very stars and stripes that made their real success.
Dang, look at that schnoz.
This way. Fine. Come on. Hey, hang on, Marco.
Ooh, look at that visual quality. So nice, so clean. Even at 1080p, it just looks incredible.
I want a full weapons test.
The intricate detail and stuff, even at 1080p, is just phenomenal. So we're gonna do this combat section, and then we will go ahead and end the video. Just the combat. We're not gonna do the boom. Oh no.
Oh, no, you don't.
Ooh, damn.
Jesus, more, you asshole. Back up.
Can't see through that damn camera. I remember, I think they just come right out from right here. Oh no, that was it. That was the last one.
Rigby.
Yes, I just had a call from Diana. What the hell? How did you allow this to happen?
'Cause dirty Diana.
They've taken him in a sky car. I'm in pursuit.
Track them. Do not lose it.
Lens, track that sky car.
Okay, stick with them. If they get away now, we may never see Marco again. Did you see who took him?
Wow. See, yeah, look.
Those mercs from the planes.
Red sand. Figures. Sounds like they need him alive.
So guys, yes, this is running significantly better than the other game. That is 2 Unreal Engine 5 games back to back. I don't think that Elder Scrolls is a VRAM issue. I think that it is more of an optimization issue that is still not fixed yet. So if you like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.